Okay. All right, let's start.
Are we starting?
God, I hate Star
right now.
Wars.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pro Lapsinators. I'm your host, Benjamin Saint of the prolapsinators.com/email. Who else is here? Question? Really fast. This is boring. Let's skip introductions and get right to the meat of it, shall we?
They call me Nate, and they call me Rosebud. Speaking of prolapsinators for a reason, if you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, guys, I think that we aren't giving ourselves enough credit. I think that we need to, when people ask us what we do, we don't have to shy away from it. We can say that we are professional lapsers. I mean, we pro-lapse. We shouldn't be so coy about it anymore. I think it's bad for the perception of us in the greater world.
We let things...
We lapse in a lack of judgment. We lapse in a lack of skill. You know?
We just lapse and we lapse, and it just keeps... I'm gonna lap at your fucking blood if you come at me with that big old knife. Oh, he stabbed me before I could do it. Man, I shouldn't make threats I can't keep.
We professionally blundered over and over into this situation we find ourselves in today.
I would like to demonstrate something for you.
Please.
Because I am home alone! There is absolutely no one in my apartment right now. My family is gone, and they have left to go see Michelle's girlfriend, Michelle's mother in Hawaii.
Oh.
Wait.
How much of that is accurate? Did they go to Hawaii?
Yeah, they went to Hawaii.
Oh, that's cool. Why didn't you go?
So you're home alone, huh?
I've been home alone for the past week. There's been
so what are you wearing?
I'm wearing briefs, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right,
Lord.
that's all. That did it for me. We can continue.
Munchie.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you go to Hawaii with the rest of them? I pine for Hawaii. I've been wearing my Waikiki pink and white wristband to remind me of those halcyon days long past, and
live in the
look
past,
forward to
Nate.
my next trip.
You can't live in the past, Nate. You got to throw that shit aside.
That's fair.
That's for babies.
Well, Nate, there's a very good reason for that. Because they did, in fact, offer me to go. You know, they were like, we're going to Hawaii. This was like many months ago. Like, you want to come along, right? And I was like, Hawaii is sure cool. But, and then I take off my heart-shaped necklace trinket, and I open it up, the inside, and I see a picture of the URL to apsadventures.com. And I say, there's someone else I would like to see more. And so that's why I'm going to London in July instead of going to Hawaii now.
Okay. So is this like I got it.
Yeah. So they offered to pay what they would have paid for a Hawaii trip.
That's very nice.
Which accounted to 1/4 of the cost, because going to London's really expensive.
I would love to go. I would love to go to London, but like you said, it's really expensive, and I just don't think I can justify the cost.
Okay.
Well,
Ben,
sure.
Ben,
that's fine.
There's something
neither.
really fucked up. I don't know if I talked about this on the show. So
is this the hotel thing?
Yes, it is the hotel thing.
Okay, I know about that, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still prohibitively
I want to hear it,
expensive.
Munchie. What's the deal?
Okay, so this is just crazy. So I calculate the plane ticket, and it's over $1,000. Like, it's really expensive. And so I just say out loud to my mom, I'm like, man, this thing is fucking expensive. This sucks. And she's like, well, let me try, and let me see if I can find a good price. And I'm like, okay, Mom. Yeah, okay, all right. And then she does it, and she finds a plane ticket that has a bundled hotel room inside of it. So you buy, it's a plane ticket and combination hotel room, so you get a room in a place in London. It is less with a hotel room.
That's what? How is that possible?
I have no clue. So just to reiterate, viewers, the plane ticket is more than if I got a plane ticket and a hotel room for the entire stay.
There's got to be a racket here. Something's going on behind the scenes. Some sort of back alley corruption hotel deal.
I have no clue. But so obviously, I just did that, obviously, because why not? And so I just have a hotel room that will be mine in London that we can just retreat to when we want to.
Are you staying with Gib?
Yeah, I'm staying with Gib.
Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got a fucking hotel room.
Yeah.
That's shit.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like Munchie can come see all of the stuff, and then he can go back to the hotel at his leisure when he's sick of me and my family.
Oh, that's great.
I'll never get sick.
I'm getting jealous.
I'm getting jealous too. I've never been to England, and
I can't wait.
You're
Oh my
a good
God.
example,
It's
Munchie.
gonna be
you're
so
setting a
cool.
good example.
I'm gonna be
Yes.
way more patriotic than you are, Gib, the entire time. It's gonna be super obnoxious. I'm gonna be the stereotypical American tourist, and it's gonna be incredible. Just fawning over everything.
It will be. I expect and hope and pray that you are as loud as possible and scream constantly in the streets, drawing everyone's attention.
Have you talked to Mage? Are you gonna see Mage?
We could easily see Mage, I think.
Are you sure she won't be back in her
She
homeland?
She might actually be back in the old Lithuania at the time.
yeah.
Because she does that for summer.
She's going
she
back
does
to
that
that
for summer.
desolate wasteland. Well,
So,
you
yeah.
should ask her. You should ask her when she's going back.
Yeah, definitely lock that down because that's a once in a lifetime opportunity right there.
But anyway, all that to say is I'm home alone right now, and I've obviously I've experienced a lot of time away from my parents living in Boston, but I've always had like another like human being like around, you know. So it's never been like I've been like on my own. And it's really cool. Obviously, this isn't the first time I've ever been like alone for like a day or anything like that. But you know, there's seriously no one here. Like, not a joke. It wasn't like a lie. It wasn't like a surprise they were going to come back, which is what I initially thought. Like, you know, there's no way I'm going to be actually alone in the house. But I am. And I have to feed the dogs, and I have to clean up everything. And you know what? I love it. This is so.
I
Really nice.
I don't know
It's
what
very
to make of the
independent.
fact that you find being alone in your house to be like a novel experience. What's
It's
the
not,
big deal, man?
It's okay. Well, hold on. Let me clarify. Again, I've been alone in my house before, but not like multiple consecutive days in a row. I mean, this is probably the first time, at least that I can recall. I've been alone for maybe like 3-4 days, but this has been like for the entire past week, and then like a little bit more.
You know,
to come.
That's very cool. That reminds me of, Ben, remember how our dad got into a thing when he started sailing, which he's been doing for a long time now, when he would go away for like a full week, and he would go sailing with his buddy, and they'd sail around like Martha's Vineyard and, you know, like the Cape, Massachusetts and whatnot. Like, our mom was still there, but like our house was a totally different thing without Dad around. It was like fucking stay up late, play video games and shit, go have pizza pies for breakfast. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you were thoroughly lashed when he came back and found.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to pay the piper at some point.
But okay, but here's the thing. Here's the great tease of it all was that because he was sailing, everything was totally dependent on the weather staying good and making for good sailing conditions. That cruel moment, again, I love my dad, but that cruel moment when the weather is turning south and the phone rings and here's Dad, son, I'm coming home, as he would say, and you know,
I'll never remember his deep baritone. I'll never
Rest
forget,
in
rather.
peace.
Never, yeah.
Lost at sea. One day we'll find him again, perhaps. He should have come home that one time.
What a pathetic fallacy that is for the weather to punctuate the dad return.
You know, dads they go out for a pack of sailboats and they never come home.
Except when you don't want them to. When in the
Except
middle
when
of
it
a
starts
DDR
to rain. It
max.
starts to rain and then they're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Dad
Just having
always
another. Just having
Dad-
another sexy sleepover with your friends, trying to max out your DDR and Guitar Hero scores, and in waltzes your father to call you gay and smack your ass and do everything that you were praying he wouldn't in public.
Honestly, I don't think a single one of those like extended sailing trips lasted as long as it was scheduled to. Like every single one ended at least a little early.
I mean, I can't even blame him, but it seemed like it was weather every single time. But yeah, I mean, you know, he didn't get to do his goal was to sail out to X point and then make it back. And he not once, I believe, did he do it. But I mean, you know, you want to, just due to the weather and stuff. But anyway, that was a liberating time in life. Just when parents are away,
the kids will play.
Oh, that's correct, Ben. That's correct.
The way my life has worked preceding this.
Yes.
I hope you're having a like teen boner comedy style, like invite the whole neighborhood over for a big rager, and you'll surely have it all cleaned up by the time your parents get home. But then, we're coming home early because the big deal fell through, and we're coming home and we're really poor now, and we're really fucking mad, and we're looking to fucking
really
lash
poor,
out
yeah.
at something, anything, even our own blood, for example. All right, love you. See you soon, son.
The way my life has worked, this isn't like a newfound sense of like responsibility or like independence in a way, since I more or less live a life away from my parents in a way, where I'm always upstairs, and if I'm not upstairs, then I leave the house and I'm not there, and they don't really have any influence over me directly. However, it is nice to have to do like menial labor for once, because I don't interact with anything outside my room, and so I don't clean it because I don't interact with it literally at all. If I cook something, then I clean up the kitchen, but other than that, I don't do anything. And so it's sort of, I don't know, the word's not refreshing. It's not like I'm like super psyched about.
Is it invigorating?
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like I'm taking care of my space, you know? I'm taking care. I'm a real human. This is my house currently, in a way that I've interacted with it more than I have previously. And I have to feed all the animals, to clean up after all the animals, and take them on walks and stuff. And, you know.
And now you'll learn to hate them as I do.
Oh, no, I already hate them, Ben.
Good.
There's not like, my dog's out, you know, on the street to the moon, if I had my way.
You know, living on my own, as I have for the past many years now, I think that what you're describing is something I'm a big fan of. And it's like when you're a millennial youth, you're growing up in your room, and like, you know, generally everything's taken care of for you. You know, you got your occasional chores you got to do, but I mean, at least my experience was like my dad took care of all like the big work, and he would have us help sometimes. And whenever we did it, like I resented it. Like I didn't want to do it. It sucked.
Hey, let's
You know,
time to mulch the fucking yard again.
Yeah,
we
mulch-
gotta have new mulch because that old mulch just isn't cutting it.
You're
But
a
you
fucking
know-
mulch
Gotta
bin.
gotta hold the ladder while I cut down a branch of a tree that I think is kind of ugly.
It's the dynamics that are interesting about that, because I think once you, like, if parents go away, suddenly you have to fend for yourself, and like everything, like you're saying, it's a total different way to look at the world. It's not that like all the clockwork machinery is just keeping things going, which are your parents and society and whatnot. When it's up to you, suddenly you're a man in a jungle, and you've got to intimately become acquainted with that jungle and know how to get food and what to do.
Yeah.
And it gives you kind of a native, it reduces you from a higher level, like intellectual, electronically based consciousness down to an earthy, like Native American style, in tune with nature, groundedness, you know?
in the suburban household.
That's correct. But there's definitely a pleasure in that.
Using every part of
it's responsibility.
Yes.
It feels more fun to clean up the mess that you made rather than the mess that, you know, would be cleaned up anyway.
Because there's a story behind this mess. You can relive all
There's
the
narrative
mistakes.
stakes.
not-
It's
it's
not
not-
its arc.
It's not abstract, like the reason to mulch those trees was completely abstract.
Completely
to me.
abstract,
I have no
completely
idea.
mystifying, completely
Indeed.
resented having to do. Man,
Yeah.
Let me just go off on a rant about this. I would
Okay.
always be like, I can't fucking believe, I hate having to mulch these trees every fucking year with this giant pile of mulch. Got to put mulch around every tree, and then it's like, and I'm grumbling about it, and Dad's like, hey. You gotta fucking, you know, hey, he's like, no, you
Service
don't
with
want
a
to
smile,
do it.
please.
You smile about this, please. Yeah, I know you don't want to do it, but you're gonna see. You know, you're like, once it's done, you're gonna appreciate, you know, the job well done. And I'm like, of course I'm not going to. I don't understand how I don't understand how you don't understand how I don't see the same value in fresh mulch.
You know, I love dear old Dad, but I gotta say, I think it was a not to criticize his parenting, but I think it was a tactical error to not be, quote, a good enough father to like to simply explain
To just love us, please.
to explain to us why this activity was important to him, which, I mean, you know, maybe he tried and just like got frustrated and gave up, but I still don't understand.
There was sort of a thing where like he really seemed not to grasp that we did not see the value in this activity.
Like if I was when like my son turns like 18 or whatever, like I understand it. I kind of enjoy, like, you know, when I do the PCP pay every month or whatever, you know, I generally try to get it out on time, but like there's a certain pleasure I take in it. But I could absolutely see, let alone like my children when they turn 18, like dealing with their taxes, but like any of you trying to, like, you know, go over the facts and figures. You know, some of you can enjoy it. Now, we have talked about it on occasion, but like I totally get how it's uninteresting busy work for a lot of people, but I obtain some joy from doing it. So you know, it strikes me as something similar. You gotta touch like the foundational idea behind the activity itself. You can't just say throw these numbers together in this way, or throw this fucking ground up wood under these trees because there's some nebulous benefit to be obtained. You have to understand the motivation behind it. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, after you applied the mulch bin, did you pound the pavement?
Oh, I pounded that pavement. I was out there. I was walking the streets.
Okay, you may have pounded the pavement, but did you control your anger?
Hardly.
You mean my rage?
Hardly.
Oh, your rage.
Did
Yeah,
I
sorry.
control
Did you control
my
your
rage?
rage? Yeah.
Occasionally.
Okay. Yeah. Think through a little bit.
There were successes and failures in.
Did you guys ever get into? Okay, you guys, you whiteys have lived a life completely alien to me. In like
completely free of all the
in your post scarcity Star Trek.
We've been living up in the holy land of Marijoa in our fucking sap bubbles, breathing our pure holy air.
Munchie doesn't get this reference, but One Piece people will.
No, I have no idea. Yeah, I'm not white. I haven't watched The Room then, sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, so you guys have...
wait, sorry, real quick.
Doug.
That just reminds me.
Doug.
Sorry, that just reminds me. I saw someone shitting on anime and being like, "Look at all these white people like in anime. Like, why are we paying more attention to the black characters in anime?" And I'm like, "These are like from Japan, dude. I don't know what's going on here." Okay, anyway.
That's the thing about I can't stand about anime. It's just too many white people.
Too many white folks in that. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, anyway.
So I assume you guys have lived like a stereotypical like a 90s household experience. I imagine you guys are just Malcolm in the Middle, but there are
watch
three
Saved by the
Malcolms.
Bell?
Yeah.
That was me.
Okay.
That was us.
I literally believe that. Did you guys ever get into like fights with your parents, like altercations that like you scream?
You mean
at them?
physically?
Not physically, but just as in like you got really mad at them and said like, I don't know, like I'm going up to my room because I fucking hate you.
Rarely, but sometimes.
Yeah, I did a bunch.
I think Ben more than the rest of us. But
again, he had to control his rage. Yeah.
I'm a bit more of a mediator, so
I found a lot of Dad's mannerisms to be completely infuriating, and I flew off the handle a couple of times. One time, once or twice, I like kicked a hole in the wall, and my punishment was that I had to like do all the labor and stuff associated with repairing a hole in the wall, which was quite intense and definitely taught me a lesson about not doing that.
That seems like the perfect punishment for something like
that.
It was. In mind,
yeah. You ever try to fucking plaster a hole in the wall? It's an all day process, and that's if you do it right the first time.
Indeed, which I think you did not, if I remember correctly.
Oh, no. Yeah.
The reason I ask is I've always had a pretty like independent like attitude from my mom, but like in a way that like not like as in like I'm not gonna do what you say, Mom, but as in like basically since I've been like 10, she hasn't really like told me to like let me rephrase that. I haven't had a fight with my mom because she'll always like she asks very little. And, like, you know, she's my mom. I'll just fucking do it, you know. Not really a big deal. I don't really mind. I've never had, like, a single, like, fight. I've never screamed at my mom or, like, ever done anything to the effect of, like, you know, when I was, like, a real little kid, like, sub 10, then I, like, pouted and stuff.
Sure,
but
sure.
I've never had the experience of, like, I fucking hate my mom, go, like, you know, stomp up to my room and slam the door.
Well, you know, I think that speaks to a lot. I think both your personality and your mom's personality are probably an important factor in that. Like, I think Ben and I were a bit of layabout children. We wanted just to hang out, watch TV, and play video games. I mean,
yes, please.
Indeed. If I was growing up, I mean, I think about this. If I have, like, lazy children, like, I'm going to want to motivate them to do things and, you know, get engaged and, I don't know, go socialize and whatnot, because it's good for them, whether they know it or not. So, like, you kind of got to be more on their ass. But then again, I mean, if you're
I don't
just,
know,
like...
man. I don't know if you can, like, make a person... I mean...
I don't know if it'll be successful. That'll just be the instinct.
You can't really make someone do stuff that they don't want to do. At least not, like, consistently. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, for them to like if you want your kid to be such and such a way, they're not gonna unless it's what they want. Like, you can like punish them, you can incentivize them as much as you want, but you can't enforce that kind of thing forever.
Well, tell me what you think about this, because I've meditated on this issue about when it comes to rearing children and whatnot. But
under
it's like,
a waterfall.
Yes, indeed. Like, I don't think that a lot of the seeds that specifically Dad, like all the fucking lawn work and like the little tasks and I don't know, like becoming Eagle Scout was very much like guided by my dad, and he did a lot of the work for me basically, at least on my Eagle project at the end. Yeah. And not even that, but like all the tasks he had me do, all the chores and all the stuff we had to do over the years, which is, again, I'm not complaining, totally fair. I feel like I was very much a lazy, layabout kind of guy.
It was fair that we had to do stuff. I just couldn't stand his attitude.
Well,
the attitude of like, we should want to do these things. Like,
I mean, I get that.
I
understand where it comes from, because to him, these are things that have to be done. And like, you live here too. Why don't you have the same, you know, get up and go attitude about accomplishing these tasks that I do?
That's disgusting. Like, it's not that I think it was wrong to ask us to do stuff. It's that he was like annoyed and like angered sometimes by the fact that we didn't just want to fucking mulch the trees on our own. I don't care if the trees get mulched.
Well,
you know?
Okay. I mean, I understand your point, but so that's reasonable. I can discuss that. But my point before I was just making was just that,
these fucking trees. I have dreams. I have nightmares where I'm mulching trees,
pounding those weird
pounding that pavement
stakes and the weird stakes into like below the trees.
The fertilizer
these weird fertilizer stakes.
I've never even touched fertilizer in my life, Ben. I can't imagine.
Have you not touched poop, Munchie?
You know,
I think you have.
It's just like a disconnect. For like our dad really likes like grass, trees.
Yeah,
you know, that's superhuman core.
You're in an urban jungle out there, though, Munchie, so you wouldn't know about these things.
You know, he loves all that. He loves all that shit. I don't give a shit about it. Obviously, our priorities there are different. You know, I guess it's unavoidable.
Well, Nate, on one of the most recent RFCKs, not the last one, but the one before that, I think, Ben describes how there were like contracts for chores in the house, and things clicked into place so hard, like another piece of the Nate jigsaw. Like,
there were contracts.
Yeah.
There were contracts.
Because you know the point I was going to make about that was that I feel that when I was young, like until the time I was like 20, 21, up until that point, all the chores that my dad had me doing of stuff, I felt like it was planting seeds. But it was when I finally moved out on my own and like I was responsible for myself, I kind of feel like all that like teaching from my dad blossomed. And it all, like, that's when it was like I was prepared to, like, you know, take out the trash, do the dishes, do my chores, pay my taxes, be on top of my financial game, you know, make sure I was at work on time every day. And, like, I feel like I just kind of rapidly became an adult. And all the lessons that my dad had been indirectly teaching by making me do these things, and my mom too, but mostly my dad, like, I felt like it paid off. And, like, I became that person, like, as an adult only. And, you know, that's I kind of think that's what happened to me.
You know, Nate, in a weird way, I almost think the opposite achieved the same result for me, where I would never like doing the things that I had to do, you know, when I did have to do chores. I did not have the, you know, the immense hatred that Ben might have felt, but you know,
what do you mean me? Why are you singling me out?
Well,
neither of us liked mulching the trees.
I mean, I guess you're more vociferous in your hatred, but you know,
you're the one
Nate
bringing all
pretty
this up. I'm just responding to you.
Yeah. I think I kind of look back at all these chores with a fairly rosy lens because I think about them as like helping me become a more disciplined person. So even though I hated them at the time,
I look back.
I think
Ben,
about
Ben, make no
and
mistake. I think
roll
you're
my
completely in
eyes,
the
and
right.
I just remember
Yeah.
how annoyed I was by the attitude behind it all. That fucking. It's like such a boomer attitude, honestly.
well,
like-
I guess so.
I agree with you, Ben. But anyway, I always didn't want to do it, and so now that I'm on my own, I don't think like it's not like as in like I'm so unprepared for what life entails because like it's not like this is not rocket science here. I know
It's
how
really
to
not
do.
that hard. It's really not.
And so instead of it just being like what I think you might feel, where it's like you just feel like you have experience doing them, and they sort of just turn into busy work that it's not really an issue. To me, it's just like, well, how do I minimize suffering? Well, and then I think of ways to like what's the word I consolidate power and I make things more efficient for myself. And so, for instance, I have like scheduled times to do things, and I have specific ways I can do it to maximize efficiency. And I just completely like locked down all the chores I have to do so that I can spend the least amount of time on them as possible. So my dislike for doing them, it's not like I got mind break dojined into liking doing like dishes and stuff like that. But like I understand they have to be done, so I might as well do them for as little time as possible.
I mean, that's good as well. So, I mean, are you basically saying that like the approach that like you were raised with was like you were just given the freedom by your mom, and your instincts to just want to get things done so you can just be happy and not worried about stuff? That's kind of what motivates you to do your shit.
Oftentimes parenting can be like you can have like a desire and it won't pan out the same way that you would want it to. It's sort of weird that stuff like this can be like you can't like both okay. Your dad obviously instilled in you this sort of belief, probably intentionally, to give you this outcome. My mom didn't, and yet I still got that sort of lesson, probably not in the same way or the exact specifics.
It's hard to know how much of that was just you. And I mean, again,
Well,
my dad's teachings might have been
She
nothing.
must have made
it
me.
might have just been in me all along that just came out when I got older or something.
What do
I
you
don't
mean
know.
by in you? You mean like
I mean,
your
I
soul?
notice now that I approach like tasks and accomplishing things like very similar to how my dad did, and like we did talk about doing things that way, but I don't feel like that's anything I learned from him. I feel like it's a kind of an innate way of approaching issues.
I feel like a lot of the time it's not down to like a literal lesson, but you just can't help but copy the adults around you in your life and the ways that they do things.
I think it's probably a combination, but like you are his son. There's probably some sort of like somewhat similar brain chemicals in there, and he's your fucking dad. You were around him a lot. Obviously, some of that,
and I would never say that like my dad's teachings are obviously always going to be effective. Case in point, Ben. But
I'm much more like Mom.
I think so. Yeah, much more relaxed about life.
And you know what? I'm happy with that.
Well, that's good.
I remember on one of the drawcasts for Monsters.
Unfortunately for you, Ben, a mom's penchant for shit. Wait, what's that thing when women marry up? Mom's penchant for hypergamy won't save you, Ben. You're in the rut. You got no way to go.
Well, I don't know.
Step
Wait,
down.
what the fuck does that mean?
I mean, I was making a joke because Mom isn't actually hypergamous, but I don't know.
Well, Ben's gonna marry Alexa Bezos.
What a bizarre thing to say. That whole thing.
I mean, it is in fact simply inaccurate, but I thought it'd be funny anyway. I mean, also our dad
I was
isn't
just
dead.
left
I said the
confused.
dad was dead before. Why aren't you on my ass about that too, Ben?
Okay.
Nate, your stories are very consistent.
I'll send you.
Was that like an
invoice.
insult against Mom or something?
What, me?
No, like saying, okay, never mind.
I just, it's like such a like esoteric joke to make, you know?
think so?
What a classic Nate's dad thing to say.
Oh God! Oh,
And like the
Ben's like his
assertion
mom.
that tendency would save me. I don't
No,
know.
no, but it won't save you because you're a man, not a woman.
Okay, yeah,
That was the idea.
Nate's more like his dad. Ben's more like his mom. You guys are gonna have to pop out a baby real soon.
That's
Oh,
fair.
now that we're
kidney
married,
stone.
we
Ben
gotta
already had
continue
kidney
the
stone. He
legacy.
already went into labor once.
We got
Oh,
ectobiology is hard at work as we speak, churning out,
Finally. What were we talking about?
I would imagine that
I'm very uncomfortable.
I imagine that a baby between Nate and Ben would be like a lump of coal, or possibly some sort of like raw material that would be used as fuel,
What?
and then burned up immediately.
What the fuck?
What do you mean?
In what way would that be the result of our
presumably
human offspring?
Well, it's like yin and yang, right? If yin and yang had a baby, it'd probably just be some sort of like
inert mass.
Yeah. Just some sort of like being that was not meant to be sentient in any way.
I mean, look at it, me and Ben, I suppose, as our mother and father's children. I guess they just either go one way or the other. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like Grace is more like you, Ben, and more like Mom. But again, I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about
100%,
like you
100%.
two. If you
Way
had
to
children,
dox
they
our
would be
sister.
basically your mother and father, but
Yeah.
as children.
The cycle repeats itself.
I think we got 2 moms and 1 dad out of this particular
we'll just
relationship.
you and me, Nate, we'll just have 2 babies, and like one of them will have like a beard and be dad, and the other will be mom. It'll be like
One will have a beard and be dead.
You know, in Lady and the Tramp at the end when they have like a litter and like all the girl puppies look exactly like Lady and all the boy puppies look exactly like Tramp, and they're not a mix of the two.
No. Everything in its right place. Separate but equal. That's my policy.
We keep the genes separate even when we interbreed. We make sure the ones that aren't entirely one or the other, we just
Indeed.
dump them off a list.
Really speaks to the myth of race mixing. You know.
But now I'm thinking of
Impossible.
like your children being just tiny versions of you, like a tiny Nate and a tiny Ben.
Like Heat Miser and Snow Miser. They're little puppets during the sing-along dance.
Real quick, am I remembering correctly? Did they ectobiologize at the end, like in the Homestuck epilogue, just like a million combinations?
Not
of,
in the
like,
epilogue.
Spoiler? Is this a
Snapchat,
spoiler?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I meant the Snapchat thing. No, not the epilogue. Like I remember seeing pictures of just like a million mixed up genes.
Yeah.
Of, like
they used that to make the human race that populated
based
the
off of
planet
4
that they
template
made.
humans. Did they use all 8, or did they use just the 4 original ones?
Probably
all 8, right? I don't know, whatever.
Man, that's so fucking weird and kind of gross in a weird way.
I mean, they're all like related.
They're all clones anyway. It's I don't fucking know, dude.
I will say, by the way, just before we transition off the being alone thing, I will say the worst thing about being alone is the fact that my kitchen is still fucked. I think I talked about this on the PCP, but for like a month, if not more at this point. More than a month, like 2 months probably.
In what way?
My kitchen, there was something wrong with the dishwasher. I don't even fucking know what, but we had a perfectly functioning kitchen. Some repairman came over to fix the dishwasher, and then there's mold behind the dishwasher. And so, like, smash fucking cut, 2 weeks later, the entire kitchen's ripped out. Cabinets, dishwashers, sink, and fridge, and, like, island is gone. And there's, like, an alien, like, quarantine ET, like hospital blinds around where my kitchen was.
What does that have to do with being alone, though? Wouldn't it be that way anyway?
No, that's what I'm saying, is that even though I'm alone, I would like to, like, have cooked for myself. But now I have to, like, just order out no matter what. And I would have really just loved at this point to be home alone. You know, I don't have to worry about anything. I can just go on downstairs and I don't have anyone, you know, mess with me or try and talk to me or fuck with me and cook. But no, I'm robbed of that.
I've been cooking. Actually,
I know
this morning,
that cauliflower pizza. It sounds delicious.
There was that. I made that maybe a week ago, and then I went on sort of a spree. Like, I bought a bunch of like bulk shit from like Costco, and I ordered some stuff on Amazon that I couldn't find. Just a bunch of like general like keto safe ingredients, and I want to try
like the keto coffee, the Bang keto coffee.
No, not that, unfortunately. I got a pound of raw cocoa butter, which is just like blocks of stuff.
Sick.
I ordered a giant bag of desiccated coconut powder.
Desecrated coconut
Desecrated, unholy coconut. Imagine, if you will, a dark coconut.
All right, Ben, here's what you have to do. Here's the picture I want next week PCP show notes. I want you sprawled out, you know, on your bed, just watching YouTube, watching an Arlo video on your YouTube. You're drinking Bang keto coffee.
Did I mention cooking Arlo's pizza recipe? Did I mention that last episode?
I don't think so.
You're watching Arlo. You're kicking back a keto coffee, and you're eating a cauliflower banana pudding pizza, and that's what that's your keto. That's your keto day.
I'll mix it with like sugar-free banana, like Jello,
yeah.
something. Okay, Yeah, I think I mentioned this last week, but in case I didn't, Arlo was tweeting about making low carb pizza, and I used his recipe for pizza crust, and it was great, and I'm gonna do it again.
Fucking Arlo.
I got a bunch of coconut flour.
Arlo would be great if he was a cooking show.
Mm-hmm.
If he holds a spoon and he goes through
his little chef hat.
Would that be good? There's still time, Arlo. We've got notes to save you from your Nintendo life.
He's got nowhere to go but up. He's got room to expand.
That's true.
Anyway, so this very morning, okay, see, I realized something. I realized that even though I'm still doing keto, I haven't really been losing any more weight. I've only lost maybe 3 or 4 more pounds and maybe 5 pounds in the last 2 months.
Do you want to lose more? Are you still?
I could lose a little more. Okay. Not too much more, but just a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I haven't lost any, so I decided that maybe I should actually start counting my calories again. So I'm going to do that.
Sure.
So this morning I woke up, and I'm kind of hungry, but I don't want to eat. I want to go back to the 1 meal a day thing, because that was working out pretty good. So instead of eating, I satisfied my lust for food by cooking food and not eating it.
Whoa.
So I made...
Okay.
So I made fat bombs, which are basically just like fudge balls that you put in the fridge. And I made a coconut flour. Well, the recipe was for cupcakes, but I just cooked it into a whole cake. I had to substitute heavy cream for coconut cream. That's unfortunate, but I had no choice. I'll fix that next time.
Do you plan to eat these later, or are they just for fun?
I will. Yeah, I'll eat these. Yeah, this is keto shit. This is keto shit, man. Now I'm set.
You've heard of keto shit. Time for the keto shit.
So I've been I don't know. I've been cooking more. I've been experimenting in the kitchen, and it's pretty fun, I guess. It's because the results are useful. You see, I was very gratified, extremely gratified to buy all this shit. I spent like more than $120 buying these big bags of shit. But I did it with this is gonna save me in the long run so much. If it's if I'm buying 5 pounds, I bought 5 pounds of shredded mozzarella, and I'm
that's a lot.
It's really expensive, but I'm gonna eat it all, and it's gonna save me in the long term because it's cheaper to buy in bulk. And I rubbed my hands together, and I was like, oh god, I can't afford not to buy it. Oh, the savings! I'm playing the long game, and it feels good.
Well,
feels
that's
good, man.
We have been ordering far more groceries and eating out far less than we used to. It's fairly rare, so I'm very happy about that. I don't know. We're just getting groceries instead of eating out. So. Just a life upgrade. Just a life upgrade.
Similar. I started. I signed up on Jewel.com to get my Jewel pods directly delivered, which is actually much cheaper. Well,
that's good.
Significantly cheaper than buying them at the fucking convenience store. And the best thing about it is that I can actually buy the good flavors. So I got creme brulee. I got mango. I got cool cucumber.
Ooh.
I got everything a boy could want.
Well, that's great. But
I'm a happy camper.
I have not been cooking much, and I gotta say, if only I had the wisdom to get Blue Apron when I had the chance, or whatever the fuck it was.
Blue Apron.
I could have been a god by now, Ben.
You've divided
what do you need it for?
Because
you're
I'm
friend
too
to no
dumb
one.
to
You're
look
friend to
shit
no
up.
one, Nate. Blue Apron, that's pussy shit. HelloFresh is the fucking
HelloFresh.
Blue Apron is like the Lyft of fucking of cooking delivery.
to the Uber of HelloFresh.
I don't understand. What do you need it for? You just fucking
Okay,
go
I'll
on
tell you-
Google
I'll
and
tell you
look
exactly
up a recipe
why.
for something,
In
and
my
then you
head.
do it, and it's the same thing, but you don't have to pay for it.
Because I am not a cook, and I don't think about cooking. I need someone to force cooking on me on a day-to-day basis so that I will transition into a cook.
That's literally by the way it works
How
for
about
me.
the fact that
do you
don't,
remember a little
how
character
about
called
the fact that you don't
Fluttershy,
have
Ben?
food
It's called
to
Baby
force you to
Steps.
cook? What?
I'm sorry, say again?
I said how about the fact that you don't have food to force you to cook?
Well,
Wouldn't
but
that
we
impel you?
do. We've got some ingredients. We got eggs, we got bread, we got milk.
Exactly. So cook something with them.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I could do that, I guess.
Yes, you could.
Nate,
Exactly.
what about the thing that you said you
I
really
don't
liked that I
understand.
cooked? Like the eggs with
that looks
the
so
bacon
good.
and eggs combined.
I want that.
It's so easy. You just fry bacon, you put eggs on top.
I don't have that kind of English bacon. I don't know where to get it. I assume the grocery store, but
I don't know.
You just
Is
use
it
the
really
regular
English
old
bacon?
good old
I
American
think it's just
kinds.
thick cut, isn't it?
It's
could
just black bacon.
could one use normal American bacon in the same way and just cook the
Yeah.
grease into it and just
Yeah.
keep it in there and
Yeah.
Oh,
of course.
okay.
I gotta
Listen,
give that a try.
Nate.
That's keto, right? More fat, the healthier you are, as I understand it.
That's right.
Keto also gives you kidney stones as well as energy drinks.
Well, I'm down
so
for
you
some
might
of
wanna-
those. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Ben has gotten a kidney stone, right? Since this started.
Yes, but my whole thing is that,
it's not.
but my whole
it's not
thing is that
Uh-huh.
everyone's like, oh, it's because of keto. Oh, it's
Okay.
because of energy drinks, and like nobody fucking knows.
Well,
it could
okay.
have been. It
okay.
could have been
It's
nothing.
one data point that I'm taking note of, but okay.
It is one data point.
Okay.
There is one data point. Actually, there's a couple, but yeah, a
mm.
couple
If-
contradictory ones.
If you're
okay.
anything like me, Nate, you will go to your kitchen and think, okay, I got like some ingredients. I guess I could make like something.
I throw
I'm
all
just
the
gonna make an
ingredients
egg.
to
I'm
the
just
floor
gonna, like,
and say,
crack an
"There's
egg
no
and that's it."
food here. It's all this worthless ingredients. What's a
these
man to do?"
So
know.
having like
ingredients everywhere, and not a meal to eat.
Exactly.
having all of your ingredients just in one place and having a specific recipe like mandated onto you means that you will want to make that, and it will be so often of a completely higher level than you would initially want to do.
You could
You know what
make
it's like?
You
You know
could
what it's
make
like, Ben?
anything. You could make
Okay,
anything.
I know the here's the issue, Ben. What's more fun? Tell me what's more fun, Ben. Starting with a blank C++ file and saying, I'm going to make a game and it could be anything. Or like firing up Minecraft and being like, let's tool around here and like, build a fortress. It's that disparity in my mind. I want guidelines.
But which one gives you the greater sense of life accomplishment?
Well, I totally agree that it's, but I got other things that give me life accomplishment.
As always,
I'll work
Ben,
up to that.
Ben, your version of these on such a visceral level makes me so mad, and I'm going to kill you.
I am. I really am just averse on a visceral. I really just see it as spending money on something.
Ben,
can get for
you
free.
Okay,
are a
Ben-
cooking elitist, is what you are, Ben. I'm a baby. I need baby steps.
I'm
I
a cooking
need-
elitist because I advocate that you should do it.
That's correct, Ben. That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. HelloFresh and stuff like this is always a stepping stone. As I've mentioned, I don't get it anymore. I don't have a use
Well,
for it. I
you've
mean, that
evolved
part
past
of
it.
that.
I
is an
haven't.
But
adaptation.
it's like, it's a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone, yeah.
You get the stepping stone, but meanwhile you're surrounded by like other perfectly good stones.
No, you're
you could
not.
use
This
any of
serves a purpose. We've
It
explained it to you
doesn't
a
serve
1,000
a fucking
times.
purpose.
It doesn't-
Google
well,
anything.
It
Google
has
any.
ease.
No, listen,
How would he know where
go
to
on
start?
Google.
How would he
Type
know where to
in any
start?
name of any food you can think of, followed by recipe. Hit enter. Done. You don't need Blue Apron.
It's a matter of convenience. It's so convenient. Have you
yeah.
ever heard of paying money to save time? That's what this is doing.
Then you might as well just fucking go out to a restaurant. You seriously might as well just do it. It's the same shit.
What if
You
you wanna
can
get better at
learn the
cooking, though?
skill to apply later in the ways that you're advocating. It's just a stepping stone that you can learn how to cook better, and then you won't have to rely on it anymore.
This is such
It's-
like a weird, like, false trichotomy. No, okay, yeah, you could cook to learn the skill, but you could cook for free. So you're paying money
For free.
to learn.
You have to
You're
buy the
paying.
ingredients anyway.
Listen, shut up. You're paying more money to learn a skill that you could learn for free. What's the fucking like? I don't get
Because
it.
it's easier and more
I
effective.
really think what the money that you are paying is specifically so you don't have to do any thought work about what to buy, what recipes to make.
It's
someone
so
takes care of
easy,
it for you.
though.
And look, I know you might think that's dumb and like a waste of money, and I'm sure to many people it is. But it's a convenience. That's all. That's all. I see some value in that.
I just, you might as.
And you know what? And
Listen,
maybe a
well,
recipe comes out.
No, here's the thing. Here's
All
the thing.
right.
Here's the thing. Okay, listen. I got not Blue Apron. I got I was treated to the ingredients in a what's the HelloFresh in a HelloFresh package, and like, I don't know about you, Nate Munchie, but I don't think that I'm ever going to cook. I don't think that I'm ever again in my life going to have the cause to cook Frisco burgers with mango chutney ever again in my life. So I don't know if I did. I don't know that I
completely
did
don't.
learn a
Maybe the
valuable
next
skill.
recipe will be
I don't
cool.
think I.
It's a gamble.
Listen, it's not that it wasn't cool. It tasted good, but I'm never gonna make it again.
Hold
so
on, but
what
you
did I
learned
learn?
about
I
that.
learned how to do.
Okay, listen.
I learned to do a thing I'm never gonna do again.
Okay, hold on, wait. I know what you mean.
Wait, but if you look up the ingredient, if you look up how to make something that you actually will make in the future, then you've learned something.
There's so much different than
HelloFresh
that
gives
than
you
the
like some
experience of
weird,
actually
like
making
fancy
it.
shit that you might as well just go to a restaurant for it. That's
not
the level that you're dealing with.
First of all, just having the experience to make a fancy thing, if you want to, is inherently valuable. Also, I understand there are some HelloFreshes that are above, like, I'm not going to do this every day. But there are vast swaths of, like, okay, if I simplify this even just a small bit, then I could easily see doing this often. For instance, there's a lot of burger recipes that I would love to do.
How fucking hard is it to learn to cook a hamburger? You gotta fucking subscribe to some mail-in order service for like $40 a month to learn that shit?
This is
Are you
literally
kidding
bullying,
me?
Ben. This is literally bullying. This is
You're fucking...
It's not bullying. It's retardation.
I feel bullied.
Ben, this is... It's...
How fucking...
I claim
why do you need
victimhood.
HelloFresh to teach you how to cook a fucking hamburger?
If you've never done it before, then
I'm literally
then you need...
shaking right now.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's fair.
God.
We all need to claim the victim high ground. Climb as high as possible.
Too late.
On blessed
It's
mountain.
mine. I got it. No one else can have it.
Ben, you're right. It's more cost effective to not do it. That's why the end goal is to not do it. It should be like a month, maybe 2 months at most, and it's not that. Like,
Okay.
You're overstating how expensive it is. It's not like it's a fucking like a king's ransom.
How much is 2 months of HelloFresh?
I don't fucking remember. I'll check.
Just throw me out a number.
Probably like, if I recall correctly, it was like $40 a thing. And
$40 wasted. $40 wasted. That's all I'm saying.
Okay?
I'm serious. I'm serious.
you get
You get the ingredients. It's not wasted because I ate everything. And we didn't have to buy groceries.
Okay. I'm sorry. Just mostly wasted.
Well,
just
okay,
mostly.
all right.
I could have bought that mango for like 75 cents at the grocery store. They probably charged me like $2.50 each one. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna go sign up for HelloFresh right now.
I fucking can't. I can't fucking abide it. It's unholy. It's unholy.
Look, we've got to just
my
agree that we
HelloFresh
disagree
experience
on this.
was completely valuable, and it changed my life forever. And now I
Okay.
cook regularly.
I'm willing to drop it. Let me just ask one final question. What is hard and what is averse to you about just Googling a recipe and then buying the shit
There's
you need to
nothing
make it?
adverse
Ben,
to me
okay.
whatsoever.
Ben, you
I'm
gotta-
just saying
you
that
gotta
some
see-
people
That's the alternative
Ben,
that I'm proposing.
I have the answer. You've got to see you've got to step into what my life is like. I'm sitting here in my piss and my shit, and I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, and I need someone to spoon feed me baby recipes.
I don't understand.
That's what
you
it
can
is.
Find them.
I don't even know,
They're
Ben.
right there.
I'm
They're at the
terrified.
tips of your fingers.
I'm terrified at the very idea of thinking about what food to make. This rocks me to my core.
I don't get.
well,
you
okay,
that's where I'm
just
coming from.
Just
Ben.
any old fucking
Ben,
thing, man.
there's
Any
more
old
to it.
fucking
There's
thing.
more to it than just it having a recipe for you. It is completely coddling. HelloFresh and everything is babyifying cooking for you as baby steps.
And here I sit, a baby in my piss and shit.
Listen,
Wait,
listen.
no, wait, no, let me finish.
All right.
It babies you. It gives you recipe with extremely clear, like picture book X, like pop-up book baby shit recipe steps. It sends you all of the ingredients, and like that's twofold. At one, it sends you the ingredients so you don't have to go to the grocery store. Also, it sends you the ingredients as like a ticking like clock timer, like a bomb that will go off if you don't want to waste the food. Like, it's here. You have to cook. You cannot avoid this. You can't just have like stuff, random shit in your fridge and like, I'll cook it. Like, one of these days I'll Google how to do a recipe. I'll just do it sometime, in the future at some point.
I'm saying do it now.
But if you have HelloFresh, then you're forced to do it. It's literally not like it's not an option to not do it unless you just
You're
want
held
to literally
hostage
have
by your
wasted
own
things.
volition, and it's great. It's what I want.
Listen, I got this bag. I got like a 4-pound bag of coconut flour. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this? So I go on the internet and I Google keto coconut flour recipes. I find this recipe. I find this recipe for coconut flour cupcakes. And the ingredients are like, it's like, mix this shit, microwave this shit, mix it in, put it in a pan, and wait an hour.
Okay.
And that's it.
I know. I'm not. Cooking is not difficult. People are scared by cooking more so than they should be. But okay, before I started HelloFresh, I had basically not cooked whatsoever in my entire life. I did not know how to cook a steak. Last time I tried to cook a steak before HelloFresh, I literally like burnt my hand like sticking the steak into boiling oil. I was that level of incompetent. I did not know how to do anything.
HelloFresh saved my marriage, satisfied my wife.
It fucked her
it did
for me.
everything.
I didn't have to do anything. It was super convenient.
It was just what I needed.
I got to apologize. I realize that I'm arguing from a position of privilege, and I'm privileged to be competent at things, and I can't. Sometimes I have trouble empathizing with those that aren't.
I appreciate you acknowledging that.
So I'm gonna check my privilege right at the door. Enjoy some nice keto fat bombs later on in the day, and just feel sorry for the lot of you. That's my plan. That's my new plan for this Easter Sunday. It's Easter, by the way.
It's not for everyone. I don't even know if I would say that like I recommend it as like a blanket thing. All I'm saying is if you're intimidated by cooking and you are able to pay for it comfortably because it's not that much. Then you can do it for like a couple weeks, think, okay, this isn't that bad, and then stop. It's not like I'm advocating to do it forever or even for a long time. You can do it if you think any of this sounds valuable to you. You could could do it online. It's not viable.
I'm just saying
it's reasonable.
And I'm just saying you could do that, or you could do literally the same thing for free.
Okay.
It's not why do you think it's the same thing?
That's all I'm saying.
Let's move on. We have
Listen,
to move
that's
on,
all
guys.
I'm saying.
We've got to move on.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, here we are. Are you ready for this talking prompt? Okay, here it is.
Okay.
2 diametrically opposed quotes. Okay, here we go. Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo. Quote, "The game is fun. The game is a battle. If it's not fun, why bother?" Okay, that's Reggie. Other man, Neil Druckmann.
Can I ask for context, or are you deliberately leaving out context?
It was, I don't know, he was just talking about his conceit of making video games. That was the idea.
Oh, the making of the game is a battle.
Or rather, like, why? I think he was talking about Nintendo games in general, and he's just like, if the game's not fun, why bother? Was the conceit. Okay.
All right.
Now juxtapose that with Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog. I don't know if he's CEO or whatever. Here's the quote. It's, "We don't use the word fun." That's the full quote. And specifically, that was in reference to the development of Last of Us 2. They don't use the word fun. First of all, who the fuck would say that when you're developing a video game? That's just the most pretentious shit.
I don't see what the problem is there at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's weird that Naughty Dog would say that. But
well, they make Last of Us and stuff.
I mean, Last of Us is a shooter. That's fun.
It's just, I don't know. The word cucked really comes to mind when I think about this.
What are you talking about?
Imagine making video games and not having your primary goal being fun. That is so hard for me to understand.
Nate, you fucking fool.
What?
I'm just gonna... survival horror games. They're not fun. They're stressful.
Silent Hill 2 is super fun. And, well...
Horror
I mean, it
games
is fun.
Horror games are not meant to... I can't even... Nate, I fully agree. I fully expect you to be like, well, obviously you're right, Ben, but what I meant was ... Like, games don't have to be fun. Games are an art form. Games can evoke any emotion you want. They can have any message you want.
We don't have the expectation that movies be, like, fun. They can experience the full range of human emotion, and we'll still have enjoyed the experience.
All right, you know what? I realize all of a sudden this is dumb, because everything here hinges on the definition of the word fun. And one
You mean an enjoyable experience?
Like
that you were happy to have
found Silent Hill 2, for example, a notable, very much liked horror game, a very enjoyable experience. I don't know, does unraveling the narrative pathos of the tragedy of I forget the name of the character, James's like psyche and all the horrors, like, is that fun? I mean, I found it very enjoyable to play through, so I could call that fun. I guess I'm sure people would say the same about like Last of Us and Last of Us 2 when it comes out.
Maybe Naughty Dog is taking a page out of Garfield Eats' book, and they don't talk about fun. They talk about Entergagement. Do you guys know about Garfield Eats?
Oh, of course. We had a long
I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure if I'm
Did
following.
I talk about... Okay, well, there is an app, and I think it is currently only available in Saudi Arabia. But it is...
I think it was in one of the countries below Saudi Arabia, but I could be wrong, but continue.
All countries are below Saudi Arabia, but go on.
But it is Garfield Eats, and Garfield Eats is an app that lets you order a Garfield-shaped pizza, a lasagna, or a Garfield-themed coffee. And then while you wait, you can play Garfield-themed mobile games and read Garfield comic strips and watch the old Garfield cartoon show.
Wow.
And there is fucking videos of Jim Davis, the man himself, on the website talking about the core concept behind Garfield Eats, which is a concept called Entergagement,
Okay.
a combination of entertainment and engagement.
That's fascinating.
Garfield Eats is entergaging. Fact!
I mean, that's kind of an interesting idea to like keep people on this app that's for ordering food, and then it also has games embedded in it.
Interesting, yes.
Good,
A capitalist
no.
nightmare? Absolutely.
If you'd please direct yourself to the Garfield Eats website, which you'll start scrolling and you'll start thinking, haha, this is really funny. And then the god-awful music will start playing and you'll just like scramble to the volume mixer and fucking have a hernia in the meantime. When it just starts
there right now.
blasting.
Garfield Eats' catchphrase slogan is, love me, feed me, don't leave me. It's the neediest app of all time.
Wow.
Made by a disgusting man who photoshops his own mouth to be tiny and doll-like, because maybe that's cool in Saudi Arabia or something. I don't fucking get it.
The head manager is a guy who like just like he talks about how much he loves Garfield and he has a small mouth because he purposely tries to Photoshop his mouth in all the Instagram. If you go to his personal Instagram, all the pictures of his face, his lips are like shrunk to
Tiny.
make him
He has a
look
tiny
more
anime
attractive? Question mark.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And
It's
Jim
way
Davis
cool,
is
dude.
what?
It's-
allies with this man? Best
Yeah,
friends?
yeah. Okay,
Well,
well, the
obviously
guy
they're allies.
had like
Obviously
the
it's-
idea for the app, then he went to Jim, I think.
Okay. And
And Jim
said,
was like,
perfect.
Entergagement? Sign me up. I just, like, is entertainment not in and of itself? If you are entertained, are you not also engaged?
I mean, you'd think so, but I mean, maybe
I
they
would
just
think
like
so.
keep you that way. Like,
I would think so.
like it. I mean, this app almost holds you hostage.
It's
by
like
its
the
design.
message. It's like the rallying cry to use this app is like, come, be ensnared in our corporate web. Like, have your focus diverted to our IP.
Well, you know, man, that's interesting because that's kind of how I think about like MMOs in general, which is why I've never really
Sure.
gotten into one. So
Yeah.
people, you know, depending on the quality of it, people are willing to sign up for that shit.
Well, yeah, but they don't say it like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, fair enough.
They don't talk about like this hot new MMO is gonna entergage the shit out of you.
Well,
You know?
they
Although
do,
if
just
they
not in those
did,
words.
I might be tempted.
They might say, you know, I'm going to be immersed and, you know, I'm going to get my Garfield-shaped lasagna delivered to me or, you know.
Immerse. I don't know. You know, they talk about like immersion, talking about like, you know, adventure or whatever. Like those words are like they're trying to sell like how much fun you'll have, how cool it'll be.
Yeah.
A word like Entergagement, which is like prominently featured on the Garfield Eats advertisement.
It's all
like
over the place.
it's like naked business talk, like right out
I
front.
suppose
Guys,
that's
can
true.
you even like it's palpable?
It's inside
Like,
it's inside baseball brought outside
the
into the
markup,
light of day.
The markup they can charge on a pizza that they fuck up the dough on and make slightly like implied Garfield ears by just like
Yeah.
not creating the dough correctly and like making it a little bit misshapen.
They got,
the markup
they got
is like
Garfield-shaped
$4.
molds
It's
to make
there
the
you go.
pizzas in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's
I'll pay extra to be entergaged.
I'll pay extra to have my pizza suck shit, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I
Yes.
think about like
Yes.
what makes me like a game.
Please misshape my pizza. I'll give you anything. I'll fucking order it from any app. I'll pay any amount. Please make my pizza not a circle so I can think about Garfield for one extra second of my life while I cut off his fucking ears to devour.
I should mention that like the delivery of the like the Garfield Eats delivery service, like they all get delivered on like eco-friendly green like scooters.
Oh, yeah?
Like they have like
Okay.
a fleet of Garfield Eats scooters that is like going around fucking Dubai or whatever.
You know, when I was in Japan, pizza was kind of a luxury item there, and like I don't know, everything's really condensed. So like, there's these tiny little pizza shops, but you see outside of them, like in Tokyo, you'll see like a fleet of little buggies that are like that's how they deliver pizzas in
Sure.
in Tokyo. I don't know.
That's just
cool.
that just seems efficient.
Also, the
Sure.
pizzas are tiny, but that's Japan. For you.
They're like that in Italy too. Italy, like pizzas are like a personal thing. They're not for.
But that's Italy. What are they doing? Every pizza should be twice the size through the sheer the geographic boost, like the stat boost of being.
Oh
on
yeah,
home
like home
turf.
team,
It should
home
be
team advantage.
Like stab. Like they got stab.
Exactly.
Boosted.
It's a stab type, advantage there.
They just don't see it differently. It's a change in perspective.
Yeah. I guess
it's not communal engagement. Italians hate the family. They're trying to actively destroy it.
Yeah, you know what they say about Italy: when you're here, you're not family.
Hey, but on this game subject though, like, okay, I'm thinking about a game that I love right now, Sekiro, and I'm like, why do I play Sekiro? What am I getting out of it? Specifically with Sekiro, it's like two main things. One is like the sheer joy of exploring the environment because it's totally sick. And the other thing is like obtaining mechanical competence and overcoming obstacles, especially in flashy and impressive ways. So that's pretty sick. But like with an MMO, like I guess you definitely get both of those things as well. But there's also like, I don't know, when people talk about like VR and like wanting to immerse themselves, I get like almost scared of the idea of getting immersed in like a VR world. I want a clear, defined line between me and the virtual
Nate,
world.
Have you used a Oculus Rift or something? Have you used a VR headset?
Only
before?
like once at BronyCon for like a minute or two.
Yeah. That
I was
time.
playing
yeah,
as Rainbow Dash flying around or something.
That was my first time using one too. Well, I have an Oculus Rift. I've used
Famously,
it some.
yeah.
And it's not like you don't know there's a screen.
Well, sure.
So I don't know.
Well, I'm more questioning the motivation.
That doesn't concern me. What do you mean?
Well, like I mean, with this quote here from our boy Druckmann, like we don't use the word
talking
fun.
about-
But like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to think about which game he's talking about. Well, he's not talking about like, like you could imagine VR or whatever being used for like just to create like an environment that you can like explore and walk around or something. Like it's just cool in some way. Like that may or may not be defined as fun. But he's talking about Last of Us 2 specifically, and like. I don't know, like, that game I would imagine is fun, and, like, isn't it fun to, like, get a sick headshot when you're down to your last minute, and, you gotta make
but
your
that might not be their
stuff.
primary goal, so they don't talk about the word fun.
I mean, I guess that's not their primary ethos when developing the game, I
honestly, I think probably their ethos was probably like, immersion, engagement.
Yeah.
Maybe
Intergagement in a way.
Entergagement, building tension.
Yeah.
Which, might have the side effect of fun.
Well, at what point does it become like a primary focus, and at what point is it just a side effect? I mean, they're making the game. They know what it's going to evoke in people. They do testing and whatnot.
Do they, though? I mean, they
made Last of Us 1. That's probably a good hint.
Death of the author, baby. It kind of doesn't matter what their ethos is if, like, the end product comes out as something people want to experience.
I mean,
whether they call that fun or not.
Honestly, this is a semantic argument. I could, I could rail and whine and bitch and virgin rage about his usage of the word fun in this particular way, but ultimately, I mean, I would argue that I think you're trying to make the game a little bit fun, dude. So that seems a little strange to me. But you know what? Who gives a fuck?
Is part of the is part of the problem to you that it's like you're trying to make the game fun? Like, are you like obviously that must be something. That must be sub-numbered in your calculation. So are you trying to say that you're not making it fun to appease other people? Is that what you're suspecting? That he's trying to be like hoity-toity and not like be like games are an art and
we're not about fun here. We're about telling a story.
Is that where the anger comes from?
My gaydar flares when I hear things of that nature. So yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I have multiple gaydar of various stripes.
I mean, it is for a company like Naughty Dog to say that. I mean, they made like Jak and Daxter, right?
But times have changed, Times have changed in a big way.
I guess times have changed. But still, that's not the company I would think of to say something. I would think of like, maybe someone like Jonathan Blow might say something like that.
Yeah. But I mean, like
the guy who made Papers, Please.
When I played what are those? Nathan Drake. What are those games? Explore Uncharted. When I played I played Uncharted 2 only. And like the whole time,
those are definitely meant to be fun.
Yeah, that's true. But like when I was playing that, I felt like this is kind of weird. Like this game's a little bit too close to like a Hollywood movie that's not that great, and like also like the controls like aren't super fun. So like I feel like the goal of that game was just totally not what someone like me, like sure it looked beautiful and like I don't know, I'd rather just like watch a movie than play that particular game because one, it's over faster.
I have never played an Uncharted.
Yeah.
I listened to like reviews of the whole. God, was it Super Bunny Hop or someone did them? Yeah. Someone did like a big series of reviews about the whole series. My impression is that playing one of those is basically just like a like watching an Indiana Jones movie, but like you're hitting the buttons to make it happen.
Yeah. And...
which is very weird, and it does kind of seem like the antithesis of what I want in a game, because I'm all about fucking action, and like I'm all about like platforming and like twitchy reflexes and enter the gungeon and down well and stuff. That's my jam. Yeah. I like my games gamey. If please.
But I mean I just suppose that
I don't think it's invalid. Like I don't think that game.
It's not invalid, but I guess it makes me feel that like the category of what makes for like AAA great top of the line game like that's really widened, and maybe games like Final Fantasy VII are like responsible for I mean it was a big one along those lines. Although that game was gamey as fuck. But it'd be foolish to not address the FMV creep.
Game? Which game?
Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big boost and all that shit. And look where it's landed Square Enix now. In the shitter, I would say, in many ways. I don't know. Games are complicated. It's weird. I don't know.
Video game consoles are weird. Like consoles? I have to like
consoles are weird, and I don't like them.
Like they're a computer. But they
PS5
can't do
was just
anything.
Announced. Yeah,
What?
they're a very limited, streamlined computer. PS5 was just I think like documents were released
Man,
about like
who
the specs
fucking
or
cares
something.
about the PlayStation? PlayStation sucks, dude. It's all about the GameCube.
PS4 is doing. I think it's leading. I think it's like winning the console war currently.
The console war is like you like okay, you pop out three
honestly,
babies, you put them in a pig pen, and you just like come back 3 years later, like oh who won? Oh I guess this baby won, but he's still a corpse. It doesn't matter. They're all dumb, and I hate them.
Consoles are like $600 now, right?
Well,
like that,
600, but they're
What's the
expensive.
Yeah, like consoles being as expensive as they are, I kind of don't understand
it's
why we
ridiculous.
why we aren't just playing on PC.
Yeah.
I think things are moving more and more that way. But I don't know. There's a lot of console loyalists out there.
Something like the Switch, Switch brings something to the table.
Yes.
And I know I don't have a Switch, but I know everybody loves the Switch.
I have a
get
Switch, and it almost turned me away because it was way more expensive than I wanted to pay for something.
Yeah.
Because for the amount that I knew I would use it and continue to use it now, but ultimately I think it was worth it. But like a PlayStation where it's like the reason I like the Switch is because I can play it, outside of the house or anywhere.
Dude.
Like
tucked away and warm and cuddly. That's what I'm all about.
Getting up and like turn on my TV to play a video game. No one's got time for that shit, and that would be the most uncomfortable experience of my life. I would hate doing that. I would never want to pay $400 to like turn on my TV. That's just a nightmare I can't abide by.
I've just got a super powerful, video game machine, aka my computer, that I don't know, I just played Sekiro on, brand new game. It runs like a dream and is fantastic, and my computer is great, so it's not a problem. But sitting above it, I've got my PS4, my PS3, my Switch is to the left. I mean, I got them because, had to play Bloodborne, so had to buy a PS4. But for how long? For how long is the question?
I'm surprised we're still doing the console model, honestly. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get why we haven't all transitioned.
I mean, the weird thing that's happening now is, have you heard about, the Epic Store is rising as a real rival to Steam?
I have heard of it, and I don't know what it is.
It basically, you can just think of it like Steam, only, they are much stauncher gatekeepers of what content gets onto their shit. Because they kind of they make more of a pomp and circumstance about which games get onto their thing.
But wait, what are they selling PC games? Like, are they basically just Steam but with a different business model?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
Well, okay, Nate. Why do people hate Steam?
I mean, I can tell you why I personally hate Steam, and it's because it is so I don't know how to use it, and it's so fucking hard every time. It's weird to find games, and I don't know. Maybe I'm not a PC genius.
if I don't understand, if you know what you're looking for, it's not hard to find a game.
That's probably true. I have been plagued by confusion and issues with using Steam for years.
Wait,
maybe
my
it's just
mind's
I know
being
that
blown right
Steam.
now.
I know that Steam has a lot of like shit on it, but like you don't have to buy them. You don't have to.
Wait,
look
okay,
at them.
hold on. Okay, Nate, that's so contrary to my Steam experience. Here's what I just did this to test to make sure. I click on the Steam app, it opens up, and I it's literally one click away from being in a game. Not as in to type over the games list. I immediately just have a list of all the games I own immediately upon pressing start.
I might just be an idiot. All right, let's do a challenge.
Wait.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't get what you don't understand about using Steam. It does annoy me that all my Steam games have to open Steam, and like games won't run if I'm not online because
that's
Steam
annoying
can't
for
log
sure.
in.
Yeah.
That is horrible, and I hate it. But like, what do you mean? That's stupid.
Okay. It shouldn't be the case mandatory, but it doesn't bother me at all. I mean,
that does bother me.
Okay.
But I've just learned to live with it at this point.
I mean, I guess that's okay. Let's do a test. Name a game on Steam. What's a game on Steam I probably don't have?
are you talking about buying games?
Hatto Full Boyfriend.
Oh, okay, wait.
Boyfriend.
Nate, okay.
Hatto Full Boyfriend.
I'm gonna go try to buy this right now. I'm not going to. I'm gonna see if I can do it.
All right. Hold on. Wait. You know what, Nate? Stop.
Of course
Hold on.
you
Wait,
can.
Don't
just
do
type
that
the name
yet.
into the search bar and you fucking
I
find
have
it.
issues with like the library. Look, I know I had like my parental thing was like locked on for some reason, and I couldn't get to my fucking store
Nate,
or
okay.
whatever.
Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. I'm gonna close Steam. You close Steam too. I'm gonna time us, and we're gonna see how long it takes me and how long it takes you.
This is so fucking dumb. You just type the name and what's the problem?
No,
Well,
no,
okay,
we're gonna see.
what
We're gonna see. We're gonna see
have a
right
race.
now.
Wait, what's the name of the game again, Ben?
Hatto Full Boyfriend.
Okay, Hatto Full Boyfriend. Got it.
All
Okay,
right.
ready?
Start the timer now. I'm starting up
I'm
Steam
going.
right now.
Here I go. It was closed. It's updating.
Yeah,
Updated for a few
updating,
hours.
checking for available
Gotta,
updates. All right, gonna do this for 45 minutes. That's fine.
All right, so we'll wait. We'll get so we fast.
No,
forward.
You guys can
12 seconds in,
wait.
13 seconds in, 14 seconds in, 15
I
seconds
got
in.
I'm searching the store. Okay, I'm there.
It's still updating for me.
Hatto Full. I see it right there. Okay, I'm at the page. I see there's a bird. That's the bird. Okay, and
Yeah.
I'm
Still
clicking
updating.
on add to cart. And where do I purchase for myself? I'm clicking on it. And okay, I'm at the
Yeah.
place where I can now buy it. Okay, so that's it.
That was 30
so-
seconds.
So what was the problem?
Okay, the problem may have been
Still,
that for
I just got it.
some reason I have had like my parental like limit on Steam for like years, and I don't know why. And I
Okay.
did fix this the other day, but it's just given me a real sour taste in my mind.
I
in my mouth.
I can only imagine. But you know what? You're free now.
I guess I'm free now. I suppose that's
Free
true.
now.
But I just feel I don't trust this sense
Fly like
of
the birds in Hatto Full Boyfriend.
This feels like a false sense of security. This bird's cold gaze looking at me. I feel like at any moment
it's real.
it'll betray
it's
me.
genuine. He means every word.
I feel like I've been here before, but I guess we'll see.
You felt this way before. So
Okay, well the
insecure.
point is, Steam. A lot of I don't understand this. I know that a lot of like particularly. Well, I guess I'll just say, like left-wing-ish, like anti-free speech kind of people are like, one, they don't like that Twitter allows a lot of hateful rhetoric on Twitter. And then similarly, I think that same crowd also doesn't like that Steam lets, like unsavory content on it. Like that.
What, like
School Shooter
horny
Simulator
visual
and,
Oh.
stuff like that. Or, like all the sex dojin stuff. I from what I understand, those people don't love that Steam lets a lot of that kind of things on there. I don't care. I'll let everything on. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I know some people make an argument that like the crap covers up the good stuff. Whatever. Don't care. Anyway, so Epic Store exists, and some people are making the jump because Steam was the only party in town for a while. And they're going like Epic.
Wait, hold on. I want to touch on that.
Sure.
For the crap to cover up the good stuff, you'd have to be on Steam, like browse. Which
I guess that's how
Actually,
some people use it.
actually, you know what? I have done that because there were at some point I would occasionally just jump on Steam and look at what's on sale.
Yeah. That's
and
the
just,
issue,
like,
I guess,
through
that they're talking about.
and just scroll through the really cheap stuff. And yeah, there is a lot of like really bad like completely amateur hack shit that I
That
don't know why it's on there.
doesn't bother me at
Actually, that's
all.
how I found Lisa the Painful.
Oh,
is
well, there you go.
I was just going through like cheap shit on sale on Steam.
I mean,
and I found Lisa on sale for like $2.99, and I thought the trailer
The
looked
fact
cool.
that
and I
there's
bought it.
shit
and it was
on
fucking
Steam.
great.
Yeah.
Like, does not impact me whatsoever, even one bit. It just means there's more options on the platform. It does not obstruct any of the views
if you
from anything
know,
I could possibly
like,
buy.
all it takes is like we just did with our wonderful exercise just out. If you know the game you're looking for, it couldn't be easier to find. You simply search for the game, and it's either there or it's not. If it's like not on Steam or whatever. So yeah, so I mean, there's nothing to cut through there.
It's
just need the
cool
name,
that people who
but-
don't like it have an option now, but I've just never understood why people don't like it.
Hi, Tom Oliver here, world-renowned video game creator and editor of this Pro Crastinators podcast. And there's really only so long I can sit here listening to these fucking idiots talking about video games out of their asses. So I'm here to set the fucking record straight and save this episode from heaps of criticism in the comments. First of all, the console market exists primarily for two reasons in this day and age. One is cost, and two is barrier of entry. Even if consoles cost $600 now, Ben, which they don't, they're $300 across the board and are probably going to drop in price within the next year or so as the next generation of consoles are announced. The reason that this market exists and this cost is important is because PCs to play games at the same level of consoles are more expensive. To build a PC right now in the mid-range that can adequately play games is about $500 to $600 for decent components. And that's not including a Windows license, a display, and then decent peripherals like a mouse, a keyboard, and a gamepad. Put that all together, you're in the $800+ range to get set up on PC, as opposed to a $300 box that plugs into your TV you already have. So it's much cheaper for the average person to just buy a PlayStation and not think about it for 5 to 10 years, as opposed to building a PC and then having to upgrade the components constantly every couple years to be able to play at decent settings. The second reason for consoles kind of builds off of that, no pun intended. Building. To get a PC at a respectable price, you have to build it, because you're going to pay extra to have another vendor build it for you, whether it's a big company like HP or Dell, or a smaller vendor like CyberPower or iBuyPower or what have you. So if you want to build a PC, that takes much more skill than just, again, going to Best Buy, paying a single price, getting a console, putting it on your desk, and forgetting about it for the next 10 years. So for these two reasons, consoles are around to stay, because they're easier to get into, and for most people, they cost less. Now, for the Epic Games Store, this is really less of a problem with consumers and more of developers versus consumers. Because consumers like Steam. Steam's been around for, 10 fucking years now. Everybody has a huge library on Steam. The platform, from a consumer standpoint, is very mature. It has all the features you'd want: wish lists, shopping carts, user reviews, a big community feature. Steam is established, and people like Steam, end users. However, because they allow everything on the platform for the most part, with very little curation, new developers coming in who want to kind of have their shit be noticed is very difficult, because dozens and dozens of games release on Steam every day. So unless you've built up a huge presence on social media outside of Steam, you're not going to have a lot of people finding your game. The onus really falls upon the developer to build up hype for themselves. The value of publishing on Steam is not as big as it once was, because everybody can just fucking do it. You know, before, in the beginning, if you were on Steam, you were on the big platform that not everybody could get into, and so the clout of just being on Steam was a reason to be there in and of itself. Nowadays, since everybody can just asset flip on Steam, it doesn't mean shit, which means you, the developer, have to work harder to get noticed outside of that platform, to build an audience before you even launch, so you're going to have any success on Steam anyways, because the majority of your game's sales happen within the first 3 days of release. So if you're releasing with 50, 60, 100 other games at the same time, and you haven't built any presence outside of Steam's launch, you're fucked. This is why Epic Games is targeting developers, making all these deals to bring in big high-end games to be exclusive on this Epic Games Store for 6 months to a year, because that's going to bring in consumers, people who end up buying games, And it's also attractive for smaller developers, maybe not one-man studios, but smaller dev teams to go onto the store that has less noise and a better chance of their game being seen by the public. Now, Epic and Steam aren't the only names in the game. You also have Origin, you have Uplay, and you have GOG. GOG's really good because they don't have any DRM or anything. But another interesting player for small indie guys is Discord. Discord is trying to build their own publishing service, and they're integrating it with Discord communities, which lots of small development teams already have. So there's tons of players in this game right now, and it's going to be really interesting to see over the next couple years how everything pans out. Epic does seem set up to be the big new player that's going to be able to actually give Steam a run for its money, and might actually end up being the de facto players because Tencent, who owns so much of Epic, has so much cash to throw around, they can keep just getting all these exclusives. So the next 12 to 24 months is really going to be interesting because Epic has the exclusives but has none of the features that people from a consumer standpoint really enjoy about Steam. But at the end of the day, people are impatient and want to play their games. And when Borderlands 3 drops, you bet your ass there's going to be a huge spike in Epic Games installs that day. That's all I have to say. Get back to the podcast. Patreon.com/PolysStation2 if you want more commentary about games that's actually informed.
Well, now the world that we're arriving in is a world where, instead of having a bunch of consoles, what we might find in the years to come is a series of icons of different online game stores on your desktop.
That's less bad.
I mean, it's just probably annoying, to have to deal with that. I think that's the biggest
annoying.
issue. You just got to know which platform it is. I mean, as long as it doesn't cost me any more, I don't care. For my own convenience, I would sure if everything was in one place. But again, if I consider myself a relatively educated consumer here. I will know what games I want to play, and I will go find them. But I find myself at times, like your Lisa experience there. There's times when you're just looking for a game, and you'd want
it's happened.
You want the quality curated so as you don't waste your time.
And at those times, I have been frustrated by the swaths of totally amateur, crappy visual novel shits for 99 cents.
But it's weird to think that
deals.
It's weird to think that the solution to this problem is ban more things from Steam, or don't let them on.
Hold on. It's not. We're not talking about banning. It's a question of curation.
I mean,
of quality of they're a company, and you might argue that their values or their quality standards are reflected in the products that they're willing to, host on through their platform.
I mean, sure, that's true.
You know what?
But let's just accept the reality that there are games that are there on Steam now that, as this progresses, may not be there anymore. And I mean, I would argue that's a bad thing. I'd want them to be available.
I
now,
don't
if they don't get
understand how
promoted,
this is even inconvenient.
Nate, I mean, they're a publisher. They're not obligated to publish everything. Every publisher has to choose, what do we want? What's good enough? What do we want our brand to be associated with?
Well, I mean,
and, choose what to publish and what not to.
That's certainly true. I just simply want the availability of every game somewhere. And I mean, again, for me, it's just the most convenient thing.
Well, yeah, but not through... I mean, you're arguing that a privately owned company should be obligated to publish everything?
Well, first of all, I never said that. I did not take that position.
That's what you just said.
I mean, no, that's not true. Maybe you're trying to follow my logic through to what you think is the conclusion. I mean, look, they're a private company. I can't force them to do anything. That's the end of the story.
Okay.
But
you can talk about what you want them to do, though.
You want them to publish everything.
Here's what I want. I want someone, I don't care who, to make every game available in one place for my personal convenience. That's what I want.
But
I'm aware that will not happen, so there's no even point telling me it's dumb. I get it. That's the end. That's the end.
every game includes some shit that some kid shat out in their fucking beginner programming class.
Yeah, so just have those be, on the platform, so I have to search them out if I want to get them. But
why do those have to be on a platform? Those things can be available
for my convenience is why. That's why. For my simplicity. That's the only reason.
Well, but
as long as the game plays, that's all I get. Whatever.
Sort of, I don't know.
It's just a portal.
That's sort of flies in the face of like what it is to be a publisher. To me.
I mean, but okay, well, why is it that, I mean, Steam themselves took look, I know that it's changing recently. Seems to be mostly due to market out, like, consumer outcry or whatever. But like, remember when Steam took the position that like, we're just gonna allow everything that doesn't like break the law or whatever. Like they already did this. I'm just saying that I liked that. I thought that was good. So, I know that it's changing now.
I really like, I don't understand. I like the fact, I literally enjoy the fact that, like, not polished games can get onto Steam, because I like the fact that there can be, like, it's like a big old marketplace. That term implies a lot, but I don't really mean it like that. But it's like, it's a big old space where even maybe some of the unpolished, maybe some of the amateur stuff can rise to the top if it's good enough, people review it enough. I think that's cool that you can be independent and it can become successful.
I don't want quality crowded out, obviously, but I mean that strikes me as just like, I would put the curation in the like what's promoted, like what, maybe like user votes or something, or staff picks, or I would use things like that to put things to the top. That's that's what I'd like. But then if I want to play some bullshit, then I just type in the name and there it is.
It's weird. Yeah. I don't really understand Steam because like they don't just allow everything.
No.
And yet some of the cruft that is on there seems like it could only be there if they just allowed everything.
Are you talking about low quality games or like questionable content sort of stuff?
No, I'm talking about low quality shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about shit that just seems like incompetent.
I think Steam will allow anything that fucking runs and like passes their generic like green light test. To...
I think they've changed their process a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think getting onto Steam used to be a bigger deal, and I think maybe it is that now. I think now it's like, to get on Steam, you have to pay like maybe $100 like application fee or something, and then I think it might be a community thing, like you need a certain number of votes on Greenlight or something. So now maybe it is that literally anything can get on there as long as it has enough like community support or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm no
expert.
Have you
seen? I assume you've seen like the Jim Sterling like Digital Homicide.
I'm familiar with it in general. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, the Digital Homicide games are just...
They're trash. They're garbage,
they're crap.
Obviously.
They're asset flips. They're not illegal, per se, but, they basically only made sales by promoting themselves with, like, giveaways and, like, some, like, dodgy, like reward programs. It's not like they would, like, give you Steam credit in exchange for buying their games, or, I don't know, some weird shit.
Yeah,
and
I mean, but I've never really understood. Look, it's fun. I totally get Jim saying that they're terrible games and talking mad shit, but I've always like, what's the real problem here? Are those games being promoted above games that deserve it more? Is that like the issue?
I don't
are
know.
consumers being taken advantage of in some way? I mean, I don't
like,
know.
Who's to say that like that they are?
I think
like terrible and no one wants to play them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that was like, with Digital Homicide. I think the real problem was their like frivolous lawsuits against a guy for criticizing them.
Well, I get that.
In that case, that's what like the controversy was. I mean, other than the fact that they're just.
I mean, I think it was like Jim played the games, shit talked them, and then like lawsuits ensued, and that was bullshit. Like he's allowed to shit talk.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that all sounds fine to me.
I don't know. It is kind of cool that just any old fucking thing can get on there, because sometimes sometimes an amateur piece of shit or not a piece, sometimes an amateur project that's made with little technical skill can still have like a cool aesthetic or like a cool idea somewhere in it.
Agreed.
that can
indeed
resonate with people, and that's neat. So I don't know. I guess to achieve that, Steam kind of had to sort of bite the bullet and be like, okay, well, we don't really have any quality standards in terms of what's allowed in our plan, but they can still curate in the sense of what they promote. It's the total
opposite of Epic's approach, where like I think it's Epic anyway, like they are curating, like they want good big games like only on their shit, which that's fine. I'd be interested to see who does better long term, just for the sake of
Epic is that like the Fortnite
yes
company?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
They're getting involved in the distribution of games.
Ugh. Oh dear. They're
they're big. They're doing well. Was there anything else I was going to say on that?
I can't wait for Disney to own Fortnite.
It's only a matter of
When
time.
they buy out Epic Games.
Disney's just buying everything.
No.
What? What's wrong? What don't you like, Ben? I don't understand. What wouldn't you like about Disney owning Epic
I
Games?
can't
don't
wait to
understand.
see Mickey flossing.
Oh my
This is
God!
a
Yes.
This is a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Perfect segue into my life.
Oh, do the floss, Donald.
So, Sora, you gotta floss.
Sorry, you got a floss.
Sora unlocked new Keyblade, Orange Justice.
You know,
That's a Fortnite thing, right?
No idea.
I don't know, but it sounds right. Did you know that Sora does do a big old dab in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance?
Fuck
Yep.
yeah! No, I didn't know that.
Oh, he does it.
He's a killer. He's a killer through and through.
That's true.
Well, speaking of big corporations, I paid my taxes this week.
yeah, taxes.
The United States, the corporation that it is.
Well, I'm just mad. I'm just mad that I paid more than Amazon in taxes. That's all I'm saying. That's all. I'm just throwing that out there as a point. Argue amongst yourselves about the justice inherent in that.
That it's not
What?
that you like.
What do you mean? What? Say it.
Okay, well,
I'll
it's
kill
that,
you.
okay. Amazon provides value through its
Uh-huh.
commerce, and
Go
so
on.
they
Go
make
on.
deals with particular
Yeah.
constituencies to get like their costs mitigated because I mean why does the state make this a deal? Because Amazon provides them value and like they're getting something in exchange for it. So instead of paying money,
Yes, and the end result is that they make $11 billion in profits and pay no taxes, and I, Ben Saint, internet indie content creator, make struggle and scratch my way up to crack the fucking 5-digit mark and pay more than them to the American government. So that's pretty neat.
well,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I would argue if that's as much of an injustice as it is being framed as. But I know
Right,
we
well-
disagree on these topics to a degree.
Apparently so. So I did that. Also, so I was like gone from the internet for a while. Like
Yeah,
everyone
we
thought I was
noticed.
dead. Everyone thought, because I was late. with
We're all
the
desperately
PC
trying to
code.
get a
reach you
hold
for
of you
days.
at any
Everyone
cost.
was trying to reach me. I was off the internet. I did a bunch.
Well,
of,
hold
I did
on.
a bunch of
Okay,
shit.
you were off the internet, but why didn't you answer the calls that Nate sent you?
I mean, Ben also just doesn't keep his phone.
I
on
don't
him.
look at my phone
Yeah.
either.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at my phone, or I did my taxes. I reorganized my room,
Cool.
which was a very gratifying experience.
Can you give us the
have a
deets?
lot
I have a
more-
mental map of your room.
Well, my bed is now. It's not in the far left corner. It's in the near left corner, and it's vertically oriented instead of horizontal.
I understand.
Yeah. So I have a lot more. I moved. Okay. I had like my dresser sort of tucked into a tiny little alcove, little corner part of my room that was completely inaccessible. So I moved that out to my actual floor. So now I can actually keep my clothes in it and access them.
Oh, nice.
Which is great.
Well, that's
really,
good.
It's really great. I no longer just have my clothes are no longer just in a big old fucking pile on my floor.
You know,
they're actually in
I
drawers
have
now.
I have a quote unquote clothes closet, but what that is a repository where I dump all my clean clothes in this closet. And I have never folded them or attempted to organize them. I sift through the pile
I'm
for
surprised.
clothes. I know.
I'm surprised.
I think people would be surprised about some of the slovenly aspects to my life that I don't broadcast publicly very often. But this is one of them.
My room's actually pretty neat. By doing all this, I opened up a lot more floor space in front of my windows, and now I realize that I need, much like the dude, I need a rug. I have this empty floor space, and I need a rug. I'm looking at the space right now, and it would really tie the room together.
I watched The Big
There was, like, a
Lebowski just the other
perfectly-
day again. It was good. It's very good.
It's a good film. I just got this void, this empty void of hardwood on my. Well, it cries out. It cries out to be covered with a decorative item.
Get that.
Something that
Get
can
some
be
sort
walked
of
upon.
killer print rug or something. You know,
What print?
a killer
Oh,
print.
killer print.
Yeah, you know.
We don't sell rugs.
Yeah, unfortunately, Redbubble does everything.
All we
but
sell is
fucking-
we sell throw blankets and tapestries, which I now sleep under. I now sleep directly under my giant cop killer insignia drawn by Slimes.
Nice.
That good boy. and it's a good time. Anyway, my life feels less cluttered, and I feel a little less stressed to just exist in my living space.
I was pretty stressed about taxes as well. I don't know, I keep my apartment relatively clean, but taxes was weighing on me, but it's all out of there, and it's done, and that makes me feel good.
You know, okay, so I was doing my taxes, right?
Yeah.
I go to mass.gov, and they're like, click here to go to an internet website where you can do your taxes online.
And you're like,
I'm
internet
yes.
website, never heard of it, and you stop.
No,
immediately.
I'm suspicious. So I do that, and I go there, right? And it's getting late in the day, but I still got time. Like, I'm assuming I have until midnight. And then the fucking website goes down at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come back on until like half till midnight.
Oh my God.
And I'm late. Yeah, and because of that, I end up being late. I don't send it out until like 2 a.m. And I'm like, fuck. However, so I was at the Boston Comics Roundtable this Thursday. And, after announcement, like, we're all just kind of shooting the shit. And I'm talking about this, and someone tells me, like, hey, actually, due to, I don't remember, some legal technicality, she's like, actually, technically, you're in the clear as long as you got him in before the 17th. And I'm like, all right, if you say so.
Well, okay.
I'm going to choose to believe that. And that means everything's great. So, yeah. Did my fucking taxes like a good boy.
Well, that's great. We
Yeah.
all did them far
It's
too
all-
late, though. We got next year, January rolls around.
Can you believe that people do them in fucking January?
You know who does it there? Who does them in January? Jesse did his like in
Yeah.
January, right as the new year hit. And I'm just like, well, shit, I gotta get on that, man. I had all the paperwork
Yeah.
ready. I just had to fucking organize it, and I was just too lazy. So
there was nothing stopping me from doing it early.
Yep.
On the other hand, there were no consequences for me doing it late.
Lesson learned.
So what's the lesson here, really?
Ask for forgiveness, not for permission. You can,
Nate,
just proceed until apprehended.
That's one.
Did you see that tweet that I made, Munchie, about that?
I did. I had no
Go
idea.
on.
I learned it from my mom, so I thought she invented it, but I guess she didn't.
Nate, did you see that thing that
It sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
about that lady?
But yeah.
Okay, what was?
Oh
what
yeah,
was
the
her-
Navy lady, whatever her name
The
was.
Navy lady.
Yeah.
Okay, I always thought that quote was from Teddy Roosevelt because it just sounds like something he would say, right? But in fact, it was the better to ask forgiveness than ask permission was from. God, I want to say Gail Lord Schuler, but it's definitely not her. She's a
Gaylord
YouTube
Shoemaker?
monster. Gail Lord Schuler. Grace Hopper. Who I don't know. God, who was it? I was watching some fucking YouTuber. It might have been Cosmo, not Cosmonaut, Cosmo
Kramer.
something. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. It was some YouTuber, and they mentioned it offhand, and they mentioned this person. I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't Teddy Roosevelt. And I looked her up, and she's so fucking cool. She's like a mathematician. She's like a 1930s
Yeah.
mathematician woman who like was fucking rear admiral in the fucking Navy. And did it till she was 79, and like helped invent like early computing code.
That's right.
And then I found this quote about her that one of her like contemporaries says, "She looks all Navy, but when you reach inside, you find a pirate dying to be released." And I was like, "Whoa!" And I thought that was pretty much the coolest thing I'd heard about in a long time.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I remember hearing
Hell
about her a
yeah.
while
So
back. Computing pioneer. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
How I don't know. Fucking neat.
I think in my computer science
just
education
neat.
she came up, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, right. Yeah, you got like you went to like school and shit for
Indeed.
that or whatever.
Indeed.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I mean, early
Fascinating.
computing is pretty dope. There was another lady, like, in, like, the
And
1700s or something?
her nickname is Grandma Kobold
Heh.
after like Kobold the
language.
early like language.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Which
cool.
is- that's cute.
Wasn't
What were you saying?
I thought there was like another lady of like the 1800s or something that like developed what was effectively like a very early computing language with like weird like like before computers existed or something. I don't know.
That's
There was
crazy.
like something with that.
Could be.
And women
Not
doing
sure.
things like
Not
having
not sure
thoughts.
about
Well,
that.
I meant more so
Highly
the 1800s
suspicious.
part, but also
No,
that.
Yeah.
that was purely my expression. I was not mocking you. No.
Yeah.
No,
No,
they
but
ain't never gonna make
that seems pretty early to be making proto computers.
Yeah.
I might be a little fudging the numbers there. I remember there was something like that. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I've heard that like ancient. Oh God, I don't know. This could be fake. I've heard that like ancient peoples had like clay jars or something with like metal, like a specific kind of metal rod inside. And like it was like if you filled this thing with like vinegar or some sort of acidic substance or something like that, it would have like an energy imbalance would be created, and it actually would create like a small electric current. And I think it was used to like electroplate gold onto other metals. And I don't know how that works at all, but yeah, I've heard that there were like relatively ancient peoples that had this sort of rudimentary way to create electricity and do like some weird like pseudo electrical shit.
Okay,
big if true.
Do you guys ever think I like? Okay, this is like a weird.
And I have no idea what people I'm even talking about. This is like a barely remembered factoid.
Not an insignificant part of my life. Just like thinking about it is comprised of like thinking about like ancient humans and about how we arrived at this point. I think about it like every day for like hours.
Possibly because
really?
you're effectively a caveman displaced in time, sent to the far future.
Yeah,
You are
it
not
might
meant
as
to
well be. I'm a Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Okay, I think about whenever I'm at a restaurant and thinking about like this is impossible. There's no way this could possibly have happened. This isn't how like Earth was meant to be. Not as in like it's bad, but just isn't like this is insane. This is fucking crazy that I'm in a restaurant.
We're off
right
God's
now.
plan.
Yeah. And I just often think about like how like fucking like insane it is that we do any of the stuff we like who was the first person to like even do stuff like as in fire, right? First person to put like meat over fire. Like why? That's insane. That's insane.
That was God.
That's madness.
That was God, actually.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
So show some respect. Yeah. Why would you think to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this could have just been accidental, and then people just learned from it. Possibly.
Well, surely.
Like,
but just like I don't know, like there's so many things that like we've so crawled up from dirt and grime and nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
I was thinking about that as like I was eating an avocado the other day, and I was like, what is it? Some natural instinct that made the first person like pick a fruit and like eat it? Like what made them? Like, okay, you don't know shit about the world. You've been born from nothingness, and you're clueless, and like you're hungry, but like how do you know to eat a thing?
Well, there's an answer to that. There's an answer to that.
How do you look at like a piece of like wild mustard seed and think like, I should put that thing in my
okay,
mouth?
obviously there's
ignoring.
precedent for eating, but like it has to start somewhere, and obviously started literally like the cell level first,
right?
life.
And evolution, baked that into us as it went along, presumably. The cooking
If you were,
thing.
well, here's what if you were like just born. I mean, I guess if you're just born and like no one tells you anything, and you're just a baby. Right?
Yeah.
I guess you'll probably just have a natural instinct.
Well, you'll
to,
also
like,
pick it up from
claw
people around you.
your way towards a fruit and eat it.
I would think
if you're
so.
hungry or
Humans
something.
aren't the blank slates that we sometimes think of them are. There's some instincts baked in there.
Yeah.
Even though we're,
Fair.
again, off God's path, but
sure.
Like monkeys.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck
Hell
yeah.
Monkeys, if I remember correctly, I believe monkeys in some areas they do like brew alcohol. Like there's some again, I don't think it's like intentional.
Bullshit.
But I think that there is some area. I think I heard about this on Joe Rogan at some point that like there's some monkeys that like cater to like fermenting fruit and it like generates alcohol that they enjoy because it gets them fucked up or whatever. I could be crazy, but I remember hearing something like that, and that sounds like the sort of thing that's kind of a happy accident that they've adapted to, or their what limited intelligence they have. I know monkeys are pretty smart, I guess, but like they appreciate.
Okay, I looked it up. Apparently they extract sap from raffia palm trees, and then they let the sap ferment, creating a palm wine.
Oh. There you go.
And it seems, the wording of this article seems to imply that they're doing it on purpose, which
I guess
is
so.
shocking, if true.
So,
tangentially related to this, I also often think about like going back in time or bring people into the future to like explain the way the world is, and just think about how weird it would be to do that. I don't understand why I do this. Again, takes up like vast swaths of my life, and I don't know why I think about it so often. I always think about like bringing historical leaders into the present and being like, "Here's what a plane is," and they were like, "Oh my god, that's so crazy." And I'm like, "I know, right?" And that's like the end of the thought. But I think about it all the time.
And then pick a new historical figure. Repeat.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
literally
that's so crazy.
exactly.
I think,
right? I know.
everything would have been relatively normal. I think, like, if you brought George Washington to up to like,
I think about that all the
I don't know,
time.
like the 80s, or a little before that, like the 60s or something. Well, maybe even a little bit before that. Bring George Washington to like, let's say the 20s or something. They have
he would have seen people doing the twist and had a heart
yeah,
attack
from the sheer impropriety of it all.
Yes, exactly.
It like up to that point, like they started to have like telegrams and telephones. I think around then, so
No,
like the world was
far
starting to
before
be
that.
connected. No, when was the telephone?
The telephone, well, depends on
Or
what you
how
mean
about
by the
telegram?
telephone, but
How about-
like telegram 1800s, like second half.
Okay, so that happened pretty close. Oh, well, you
Wait,
know what?
How did they play the game of telephone before the telephone was invented?
Damn, that's a good question.
Guys.
No idea.
Well, my point is, like, humans were relatively stagnant, I think, until we started, like, even if with, like, guns and stuff. Again, that's still, you gotta go into a field and march around and shoot people, whatever. You gotta carry
Nate, you're
notes
way
on
off
horseback.
base. Say your
Until we
point,
got-
but it makes no sense, and it's
Well, yeah.
wrong.
But once we got like telegrams, telephones, and now at this point, we're at the point where imagine explaining like the concept of social media that we all like. We're basically psychically connected to every other member of the human race on the planet through these kind of like opt-in systems of like Twitter and YouTube and all this stuff. It's a totally that's the biggest mind fuck. It'd be like. If, like, like 50, 100, 200 years or whatever, us going to a future where literally everyone lives in VR, like, all the time. And, like, the Earth is just, like, a caretaker for our useless corpses that bring our consciousness to the data realm or whatever. Strikes me as similar to that. But, yeah, I'd be pretty kooky.
Pretty
Pretty
good.
nuts.
Pretty
So-
cool, man.
Like the thoughts
It's fucking
aren't like
wild, dude.
interesting, right? I don't know. It's just on my mind constantly, thinking about how different we are from what we were like. I don't know, programmed to do.
I mean,
and
that's
before
for
anyone thinks that, like, I don't know, like I'm not poo-pooing it at all, like even slightly.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting thought to see how far we've come from what we were,
This
made
thing
to
I've
do.
been saying of like escaping from God's plan is true in the sense of like there's like a certain God or like nature or whatever. It's like you get to a certain point and like evolutionarily you're basically doing the same thing that like your other apes were doing, but just at some point we went over the tipping point and we just had like I don't know. They say like the agricultural like the ability of humans to like settle down and grow food, I think was like the first thing that like allowed humans to really flourish and like save up stores for when there was famines. Because like without that, most humans would have continually died off when there's like a bad season or whatever. We get a little bit ahead. You get a little bit up in the game with your stores and you're able to breed a little bit more and spread out a little further. And then you're just over the hill. You're accruing interest on your vast sums, It's basically capitalism at work, only human capital. You got a little bit over the top. It just interest is paying for itself.
It's human-centered capitalism. Yang 2020.
Hey, makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool. It's interesting to me that like bringing like Genghis Khan. I don't know what year he lived. Bringing him to like
1300s, if I recall correctly.
Sorry, when was that?
1300s.
Bringing someone like him to like George Washington's day would not be that big a difference. But bringing him to our day, just a couple hundred years after that, that's a huge difference. And I guess it all shows up in like the way that like the graph of like technological advancement is just like it's gone fucking parallel.
Wait, hold on. No. George, he would be shocked and appalled if he went to George Washington. That was like the Industrial Revolution
it
happened
would have been
between those.
insane to him.
I
They
question
had they had the fucking cotton gin.
But
then?
They did not have the
those
cotton
are,
gin.
those are
by
like
that.
economic and like
They didn't have the cotton gin, but they had like
I mean, it's just that those
they
strike
had,
me as like economic factors and like well-being of man factors. But,
Well,
like, your
okay,
day-to-day
there
life
are
is
many
still...
factors that would shock and appall him. A completely
Sure.
different culture, completely different technology, completely
Sure,
different,
sure.
almost like terrain, like
they
everything.
had they had factories.
I mean, I guess for some reason,
not-
my mind focuses
they
on
did.
like the communication
well, I mean,
aspect.
in George Washington's day, they had factories.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, some.
Not in this. They
Not
did.
like
They
not
did,
like
but they are
not
different.
like mechanized.
Yeah,
factories.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, whatever. Things are
I
crazy.
mean, I think like a city, like the concept of the city was just like structured completely differently
Well,
in like George Washington's
well-
day versus like what it was for
Oh,
Genghis,
okay.
for good
Hold
old
on.
Genghis.
I just want to say that, like, okay, there's many different things as opposed to like Genghis Khan, the Mongol emperor, to George Washington in America. There are so many, like,
Well, of course.
Genghis Khan would be like, "What's a city?" and then burn it down.
I'm trying to think of like the human
would know what a
experience.
Well,
city
no,
is,
I'm saying that, like, you know, I know that he would know what it is, but like it's not the same, right? He ruled over a lot of cities.
I'll
but,
make
like,
this
he's
claim,
generally
though.
like a nomadic guy. He comes from that
I
background.
think
So
if
it would
you
just be
swapped
a shock
out,
to see it, you know.
if you just killed George Washington
Well, that's
and
kind of
put
cool,
Genghis
actually.
Khan in charge, and like he knew what was going on. Like I think that like the world had not changed so much. Like his understanding of like men and like okay, he'd have to learn about guns probably, but okay, you can learn what guns do. Like, I feel like he could adapt. But seeing either of those adapt to, like, modern technology, I think is a whole nother ball game.
No,
Like,
completely disagree. Completely
Yeah, you
wrong
think so?
and
No,
off base and retarded.
Well, boomers can't even adapt to today's
Yeah, there
technology.
you go. There you go.
They've just figured out Facebook.
just in time to watch it crumble.
You underestimate how much has changed just constantly throughout, like
I suppose.
human technology.
Meh.
I'm gonna kind of go with Nate here. I think that it has changed more rapidly.
It's accelerating.
Sure.
as-
Okay.
It
well,
has the rate
okay.
of increase has
If your
accelerated.
point is if like it's changing faster now, I definitely agree with that. I'm saying, well, you know, okay. I guess I shouldn't say that. Like I just meant your specific example. I thought was off base, but like your idea that like you know
Sure.
it changed slower. That's definitely true. I agree with.
Yeah, that's the main point. I don't know. Whatever. Let's go to fucking voicemails.
Okay, sure.
Wait. I
Yeah.
feel like I had something else. I feel like maybe there was one other.
Any
thing.
other of the famous
Oh,
quote unquote events in your life,
Oh,
Ben?
fuck off, dude. Yes, my
You don't
events.
even know what that meant.
I don't. Wait, did it mean something? Wait, what did it mean?
Well, that's open to interpretation.
Wait, what did it mean? Well, what did it mean?
I mean,
though?
the joke that I was making, I guess, was that like your life.
What did it mean?
No,
has
I don't even
few
know.
things that would be considered legitimate events.
Yes, something like
yeah.
that.
Okay,
Hold on, wait.
No, I got that.
I need to retract a point for my own personal well-being because I know one of you motherfuckers are writing a comic about how Genghis Khan, of course, would know what a city is. Yes, obviously I know that he ruled over like literally like you know like all of like northern China. I know he knows what a fucking
vast
city is.
audience of
He's
history
seen a
buffs.
lot of people in one place. I know what he knows. What I meant was just that you know comes from a nomadic background. He'd probably be a little bit shocked by like the way cities had progressed at that time. You know, he would know.
Well, that's what I said. Like the way a city was structured would just look. It would. I mean, the art. It would look different. Like you know, they didn't have modern. You know, like building techniques and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention the culture and stuff
Guys,
and just the.
I got it. I am smart. Please.
No,
believe me.
Nate.
Understood.
I'm not shitting on you at all. I'm just saying for my own point. I don't want anyone to make fun of me in the comments. That's literally the only reason.
Right.
I brought
Yeah.
it up.
No. I gotcha.
You guys watch that? You guys watch that? There, Jordan Peterson versus Slavoj Žižek. I hope I'm saying that
No,
right.
of course not.
I don't
Why would I
think
do
so.
that?
Who's Slavoj Žižek?
You know, I wish I knew more about the guy. He is kind of a cool Marxist guy, but he's also very.
Yeah,
but he's also
those are
very,
just
like,
synonymous, dude. Right?
He's like a Marxist psychologist / philosopher, but he's also very like anti SJW.
Okay.
Which is neat.
I think I heard of this guy.
I have heard of him a lot, and I kind of want to dig into his stuff more now. I don't know. Okay, never mind. I kind of thought maybe you guys would have checked.
I
it
would
out.
have
listen
thought
to
that
it?
Nate would, but I haven't.
It's the sort of thing I watch.
You know, and it's very like Jordan's all like, hey, here's why capitalism's good, and Marx is Zizek is like, well, here's the problems with it, and you know, it's Zizek's just a very like entertaining guy. He's very charming, as Jordan points out.
That's cool.
Mr. Peterson, Esquire,
Doctor,
Doctor,
Question
on
mark.
the
no.
honorable, please.
The Right Honorable the Lord Mayor of Kekistan.
I kind of expecting it. I kind of went into it expecting to be like rooting hardcore against Dr. P and being like, yeah, fuck you.
Sure.
And I mean, I didn't really agree with his. I still didn't really agree with his opinions, but like, I didn't like get mad at him during it or anything. It was all very fine and reasonable discourse, I guess.
I obviously haven't watched this. I've watched a bunch of Peterson stuff over the years. I'm sure some people disagree. I mean, I hear people like, I don't know. I hear things like some people just like call him like a transphobe, and I'm like, what? I don't think that's an accurate statement. I don't think you're assessing the situation. Oh, you know what? I forgot, because like the original controversy was that he didn't want to be like whatever. He didn't want to be like forced to use pronouns that he didn't think were legitimate or whatever. So again, I can follow the logic to get to that conclusion, but I don't know. So like I get it. Obviously, I'm not one of those peeps who might take a personal issue with it or anything, but like he's always struck me as a relatively honest actor. And I suppose, if one was like a hardcore Marxist, he is a avowed capitalist and, enjoys making money and profiting off his ventures. So like I could see people being like, he's, a fucking fraud just trying to make money or something. But I don't know. He seems seems relatively legit to me. And I
think oh man, Anthony Fantano made a tweet like today.
Oh, I've seen some of his.
And I think it was like, Peterson is I don't think he called him a shill, but basically he's like, he just like, he caters to like these like guys who just want their own biases regurgitated back at them, sprinkled in with like, a small amount of like, good advice.
Aren't we all like that though?
Stuff. And I mean, like, yeah, I think that's probably true.
Sure.
Yeah. He loves capitalism, and I'm not its biggest fan. And I mean, so fuck that guy.
That's fair. When I've seen Fantana really shit on this guy in the past in various times, and like, look, I get it. He disagrees with him politically, and I would suspect that like he kind of gets into like a more personal, like finding the guy to be like fake. Like if you already don't agree with the guy's ideas, the fact that like he markets himself well, that's probably gonna rub you the wrong way. Like I get it, but why would that be?
I don't know if I mean, it's possible. Like maybe he doesn't really believe the things that he says, and he's just saying them because they make him a ton of money.
Sure.
I mean, that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
No.
I don't think. I mean, I'm not. I don't think there's like you can prove that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people they get kind of in the space of like they want that to be true, so they read into various things like ways to it. And like I can't even say they're wrong; they're probably correct. It's just I very much like to be charitable in my interpretations. And like just for example, if you're like trans and you feel attacked by what the guys say, I mean, I could argue all day that like you shouldn't feel attacked. That's not his point. But like you feel how you feel. So what can I do? I don't know.
I mean, I think that probably, and like this isn't just about him, but about basically anyone, like anyone who's like pushing a political position or an ideology or something. Like if you say something and it makes and people respond to it and you end up making money off it, I think that most people will probably I don't think it's generally like you won't be like sitting there rubbing your hands to go like, ooh, I don't really believe this, but I'm going to continue to say it, because it makes money. What's more likely to happen is you're going to say like, I said this opinion and I had it validated, by, people's responses to it and by, the amount of like capital that it generated for me, and that's just going to like convince you more and more like, yeah, what I said was right. I am right, and I have evidence. Like the evidence that I am right in what I say is mounting and mounting.
Indeed. Confirmation bias is at work, et cetera, et cetera.
Confirmation bias, yeah, and you get what's the thing? It's the affirmation gang. Where like
okay, I think I can glean what that means, but yeah,
you're like a thought leader, and like everyone, you got your crew that all it looks to you because like you say the thing that is right, and everyone wants you to keep saying the thing that is right so that they can like stand behind you and be like, yeah, this guy's an expert and he says the thing that's right and I agree with him, and hold you up as their champion or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I gotta keep saying this thing that's right because these guys all tell me that it's right.
And of course it's true at any time someone who just fundamentally disagrees, like, if you've just got like a hardcore Marxist or whatever, like someone can come out and just be like, everything you're saying is wrong. Like you're just getting swept up in this like cult of personality, and you're just like letting your you're just saying what you want to believe. Like something like just for example, like someone like Ben Shapiro, whatever, he like straight up doesn't believe in like being trans or whatever due to religious and whatever. Like you could say all day that like this is his firm belief, but somebody on the other side could just say that like he wants to believe this, so he's like convincing himself it's true, or he doesn't believe it, he's just saying it anyway. And at a certain point, you're into mind reading, and I don't know. I hate being in the business of mind reading. I don't know.
Say you're, I don't know. I think about this a bunch. Like say you're Dr. P, right? And maybe at some point you're like,
P-dizzle.
Yeah,
if I were Dr. P, I'd wish I was Dr. PP, and then I would get a sick Dr. Mario dunk.
You gotta change your name to Dr. Peter Peterson. Maybe Dr. PP. Classic. Patreon.com/Ben Sane for quality jokes of that caliber. Maybe at some point you're like, I'm a guy. I'm successful. I'm an academic. I think capitalism's pretty good. Maybe there's something... Maybe the communists have some good ideas, but generally, I think I like capitalism. And then, you say all this stuff and people respond to it. And you're like, I think you should clean your room and stand up straight. And people respond to that and you're like, wow, this stuff you said changed my life. And then you write your book and it's a bestseller. And then like the letters come flooding in and you're like, the stuff you said changed my life. Like, and I mean, it doesn't matter how many, like maybe there's people that disagree with you just as much, but you're hearing the haters, but in your mind, you got to dismiss as like, well, those are just the haters. And then you're getting all this positive affirmation. People are like the stuff you said changed my life. It means everything to me. You're a genius. And you're like, well, I mean, of course, you're no matter, forget about Dr. P. If you're anyone, like if this happens to you, like of course you're going to continue to do what you're doing because you're getting this kind of a response.
That's definitely true, and I just say that that's possible. However, it certainly remains a possibility as well that despite all those things undoubtedly happening, he remains intellectually curious and attempts to examine his own ideas and simply believes that he still is on the right track and that this makes the most sense despite the ideas he's coming up against. I mean, that's the most charitable way to interpret it.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody just has to judge for that. Whenever they listen to anybody. And I don't know. But generally, like, when it comes to listening to people like this, I like to listen to, and I admit it. Like, I was listening to Destiny the other day. The thing I don't like about Destiny is just how mean he is. I don't like how mean he is, and it makes me not want to listen to him because it's unpleasant. And maybe, like, I'm a pussy because I can't take the heat.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Stupid
that's for sure.
Too.
That's for sure. But it's just I'd rather go listen to, some fucking like Joe Rogan and I don't know, like anybody else, anybody who's on his fucking show, just because like they're respectful and nice, and they'll challenge each other. And I can think for my fucking self about who's right and wrong. And I don't even think I'm as smart as Destiny, especially when it comes to like a debate format or whatever. It's like I'm not even saying he's right or wrong, but like I definitely am attracted to positivity. So I like steel manning. I like attacking your opponent's ideas at their best, at their strongest, and I try to do it as well myself. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting into. I'm just saying.
Steel manning.
Yeah, it's
nice.
Know.
That's funny. Okay. Well, I don't know.
Would you recommend that the Peterson and Zizek debate thing or whatever?
Yeah, I would say so. Especially like I didn't know much about Zizek.
I mean, I kind of want to hear a nice Marxist who I can take seriously and listen to his ideas and see if I'm wrong in some ways.
I think you would. I think you would appreciate him because like I don't know much about him. I've heard about him a lot, but I've never looked into him. And like seeing him in this debate, I was like, I should maybe like look into more about this guy because I don't know, he seems interesting, and he's, I don't know. I think you would find him, reasonable if nothing else.
Yeah. Okay.
I love politics.
That wasn't really political.
Shut up.
That was as light as it could be.
Okay.
All right. Well,
is that P? Is that P?
You know it, bro.
Oh, yep,
Yeah.
there it is. Well,
Well, shall we go to
Let's
voicemails
go
then?
to the voicemails, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hop on over here. Okay, now, public service announcement. We are getting an
Still
I'm
going.
forced to review.
But
Yeah.
by the way, maybe we should say that Hippo is gone for technical difficulties in case you've been wondering where
that's
he is.
true. He had connections issues, and they unfortunately
His connection died a long time ago. It was in and out for a while, and now it seems like it's just dead. So that's why he's gone.
Indeed. So have no fears, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Okay, so public service announcement. Here it is. A bunch of people are just leaving like a lot of messages. I don't know, like fat fuck faggot left a whole slew of messages.
My
And like
favorite.
I'm gonna
Oh,
play
God.
some because they're good. What, Munchie? What happened?
He's Spider. People are training as Spider, but for fucking voicemails now.
Why? What did Spider do?
He comments
Oh,
1,000
you mean-
times.
you-
Oh,
You mentioned him in the last episode that he'll just leave like 4 comments.
That's right,
in a row
that's right.
On a video, which is fine.
I mean, I don't
No,
care.
it's
I don't-
not.
I don't see the
Please.
problem. Whatever.
I mean, right or wrong, I basically just because I'm busy, I don't check really the comment sections of like any videos of mine.
I check all the comments. I
Yeah.
don't know if-
Okay.
most weeks I will read through the comments.
I
at
would
least
if I just had the
once.
time. I find it pleasant and I enjoy it.
Yeah,
And you know what?
you-
And I do look a little bit. I do look when like the episode first comes out. I'll just be curious to see what people are saying. So
You
whatever.
know what? I don't know if this is clear. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever said this, but like if you're wondering, I always read the comments in case you aren't aware. Like I read everything. I might not always respond, but
I generally do.
so
I mean,
we're watching.
for episodes that I'm on, obviously.
I definitely-
'cause I want to hear if people
Yeah.
had to say anything about the shit I said.
Yeah. Well, good. All right. See, there you go.
I gotta find my enemies.
Indeed. Okay.
I gotta keep tabs.
So here's
on
the
them.
end of my public service announcement. It's just so people you can leave a bunch, but you're just making my life more difficult. So like if some people are spamming, I might just start skipping you. I'll tell you that was my temptation. Like when I see like 6 or 7 messages from the same person, I'm just like, is this really, did this person have like a mission this episode and they're here like to make sure I hear their quality thing they've thought of, or are they just spamming in the hopes that something will be good? And maybe something's good.
So give it to me straight. How many voicemails?
I
we
mean,
got
just
this
like
week?
12. I think 11. We have 11, so nothing crazy. But
Okay.
I did have to cut through a
Okay.
bunch. So people try to, work on it, ladies and gentlemen.
Anything you've got to say, you can say in what is it, like a minute and a half is the limit for.
And
anything you've got to say, you can say it.
And some people actually, some person left a message. I forget who it was. I didn't grab it, but someone said like, "Hey, here's the real life hack to be on a PCP episode in the voicemail. Just leave like a million messages, and one of them will probably be good."
Honestly, if I were you, Nate, I would have been tempted to just not look at like the messages that were posted, like 6 messages by one guy.
See, I'm just saying, I'm letting people know I might do
Maybe
that.
the first one.
So far,
maybe the first.
So far, I
one.
haven't missed a single voicemail. I've listened to all of them. I've heard all the depravity. So okay. Anyway, that out of the way. Let's hear what fat fuck faggot has to say. Okay, go.
He must be
Yes,
heard. He
absolutely.
must be heard.
Faggot over here. What's up? Just here to ask,
What's up?
why the fuck does Jesse hate emulators? Emulators are the coolest thing. I can play them on my PSP. I can play all the Genesis and Super Nintendo and PlayStation 1 games on my
No.
PSP.
No.
Jesse, why don't you like emulators? That makes no sense.
Okay.
I also
fat
like
fuck,
emulators.
Fat fuck. First of all, lose some weight. Second of all,
Does
you-
Jesse hate emulators?
He was ranting about it. I think he
you
was saying
don't
they were
need
too
a voice
hard.
modulator
Well,
to ask a
that's
bullshit
fucking
lame
stupid.
question.
People are looking
you
for
know what?
hacks, Munchie. I mean, this fat fuck faggot left like 8 messages, so he's just shooting.
What's the point of a voice modulator? Like, there's no gimmick.
to make it more interesting for us? I
You
guess.
weren't like,
It's-
oh,
well, it
fat
wasn't.
fuck,
It
I just
wasn't.
destroyed a fucking 10-pound chicken. What's your opinion on fucking emulators?
Do better. Do better, fat.
That's-
Yeah,
fuck.
fat
fair.
fuck, you know what? You're out of the league. You're not a PCP fan anymore. I've just accrued it. You're not a PCP
Wow.
fan. You're out
Harsh
of the
but
league.
fair.
You're out of the gang.
Harsh but fair.
But I agree. Emulators are great. Why wouldn't you like emulators? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, they're pretty great. I like free video games, though they're harder to get these days
Yeah.
because fucking Emu Paradise got shut down. They don't host any games anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about that
but I mean-
emo paradise. Am I right, fellow?
I'm into that
scene
Emu
kids?
Paradise, the large ostrich-like bird. That's.
Oh, I'm
that's
just living in an emu paradise. I say, depositing 4,000 rounds of ammunition to a field of emos and killing one.
I straight up thought that Emu Paradise was named after the bird for a while.
I mean, maybe it's.
It did not dawn on me. Oh, like
Emulator,
like
yeah.
emulator.
Maybe it's actually pronounced
Gotcha.
Emu Paradise, and we've all been saying it wrong. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
Hard to
so
say.
no.
Hey, are those things that big fat people wear? Are those all also emus? Or are they called
No,
muumuus? Okay,
Muumuus.
all right. Moo Paradise. That's
Yeah,
right. I'm making that
like
my homepage.
Homer's Moo in the fucking that one where he got
That
really
one,
fat.
that was a good one. Okay,
Like more than
so that
usual.
being said, we've got one more message from Fat Fuck Faggot. Let's go.
I hope it's
Hopefully.
better.
This is Fat Fuck Faggot over here. This is a DG impression.
Okay.
So, anime is a Japanese colloquialism.
This guy fucking sucks.
I
This guy fucking sucks.
Nate,
read every day.
Lol. Dude, he said weed.
You're a
Nate.
tyrant. You're a fucking tyrant, mate. This is like, okay, imagine you're the king. You're the king of a country, and you bring up the most retarded baby onto an altar and say, "Laugh at him. Laugh at this retarded baby."
I mean, perhaps this is all a grand conspiracy.
where's the quality control?
Perhaps this is
You're
part of a grand
Steam. You're the Steam of the
conspiracy.
PCP.
All right.
I just said that, but yeah.
Could this be a conspiracy to get someone else to do the voicemails so I just don't have to do them for no additional pay? That's up. Only the stars know. Only the stars know the answer to that.
Okay. I guess
We'll
we'll
never know. Okay, next one. This is from All Your Favorite Things Suck. All right, good.
Okay, so things that suck. Kingdom Hearts,
Uh-huh.
Scott Pilgrim, My Little Pony,
Uh-huh.
Homestuck, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry,
He's just saying
One
anything.
Piece,
Uh-huh.
One Piece, Devil May Cry, Homestuck, Scott Pilgrim sucks, Scott Pilgrim, Devil May, Homestuck, My Little Pony, My Little Pony, Homestuck.
Stop! Stop it! Stop!
Talking about Homestuck, it's shit.
No more!
Scott Pilgrim is the worst drawings ever. Fuck you.
This can't be happening. The walls are closing in around me.
Okay. Okay,
Well-
Nate. Okay. You've made your
Uh-huh.
point. You've made your
Yeah.
point. Message received. Can you please just throw out all the shit
Okay.
ones? And can we just only
I
hear the good ones,
front-loaded us
please?
with all the shit ones, I think.
Thank you.
So that's what the people want, so that's what they got.
Oh god, I shouldn't have said. All you have to do is have a voice module later on. You'll get on the show because
Yeah,
now we have
exactly.
people like this.
And the instrument thing is happening. Yeah, they're figuring out. Like they're just like with the Steam library taking any and all comers. So too does the PCP voicemail section. And our curation staff. Let's just
We
say
have a very simple algorithm.
they're
Very,
not the
very
most
simple.
scrupulous. Yeah, and the people are figuring it out. Just like that. Not Bloody Dead Man. Fucking. The guy that Jim Sterling had that tiff with. He just found out how to hack the system and make piece of shit acid flips. Whatever. Okay. Anyway.
The digital
That's
homicide.
the one. My favorite game developers.
Bloody dead man works at Digital Homicide.
He probably does work at Digital Homicide.
Well, not
Well,
anymore.
did they shut their doors? Have they been
But-
shut down? Are they not?
I think they keep just like changing their name
really?
and starting up new fake companies.
And the genius behind it all, it's got to be the Bloody Dead Man. Okay, moving on.
It's on brand.
Can't wait for the next so what's your favorite anime? But like said in like a kooky voice module. Like there's a bunch of wah wah.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I crave. And on that front, next message is from Swear I'm Not a Cuck. Okay, go.
All right, PCP, I've got a real question for you. So I've been dating this girl for a few months, and
Thank
she's
God.
got a really interesting
Finally.
job. Now, she uses a website called Seeking Arrangements and meets with men for money. Now, she doesn't have sex with these men. She just goes out in a public place, has dinner, maybe sees a movie,
I've heard about
whatever.
this.
A casual date, and she gets paid thousands of dollars for this. I'm talking $4,000 a month just for meeting with men. My question to you is, would you
Okay.
be comfortable with your SO doing this for money?
Right. Okay. Any
Would-
thoughts?
Would I be
Any thoughts, gentlemen?
comfortable? No. Do I think it's like abhorrent or like morally objectable? Not really.
Okay. Well, this is interesting, and I'm very confused.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is a
website
real
for?
thing. This is a real thing.
I'm on seeking.com right now, and I'm signing up, and I'm gonna be
Oh yeah,
entering
see,
the
this
three
is
wacky
the
numbers on
real
my credit
test, sir.
card.
We're signing up for a date with your wife. So are you comfortable with that?
Are
How do
you
you feel?
comfortable
How do you
with
feel about
this?
that? Does that sound good?
Yeah, this is the real test. You're absolutely right.
Well, people are lonely, Ben. People are lonely. They want to
Yeah.
hang out with women, even if it doesn't mean that. Like, okay, listen. This is something I don't really understand because like people will say that you just want to hang out with women for
Fun? Or
for fun. People will say that, but like you have to be eaten up inside. Like this, obviously, it plays into like a sex thing, right? Where it's like, obviously if they just wanted to have sex, they would order a prostitute. But some people just want to hang out with people and just go on a date with them and feel that like a fake romantic connection there. They want to have that experience,
Right?
But like,
right.
I don't believe it's purely like a platonic or just a romantic thing. Like, surely they must be like eaten up inside. Like, oh, maybe if I play the long game, maybe that she'll actually fall in love with me and I'll be able to have sex. Or he,
maybe.
Sugar daddy benefits. 4 sugar babies per sugar daddy. The odds are in your favor with thousands of attractive local women looking to meet now. No strings attached. Redefine the expectations of a perfect relationship. Ideal relationships. Upfront and honest arrangements with someone who will cater to your needs. Sugar baby benefits. Find a mentor. Established sugar daddies offer valuable guidance for long-term stability. Date experienced men. Date real gentlemen who don't play games. Be pampered. Indulge in shopping
Wear
sprees,
Pampers.
expensive dinners, and exotic travel vacations. Okay, no, hold on. So, is this like a no-sex website?
I mean,
or
it depends on what you want, I think.
Does the way that is it just like the way that this girl does it?
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine so. And I assume she's up front, but
So they're, oh god. So these guys are paying
to go on a date with a girl.
To like just go eat dinner with a girl?
Yeah, they said go to a movie or something, or something like that.
Oh boy!
I mean, the answer to this question for me, would I be comfortable with it, could not be simpler. The answer is no. Not in a million years would I be in a situation such as this. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I sit here in judgment? I mean, whatever. Do what you got to do to get by. It's fine if everybody's. Cool
I want to like twist language in a little bit way because I feel like the word cuck needs to be defined here a little bit. Okay. Because cuck, like literally in the dictionary is like it's like a sexual thing. You like it.
I think the spectrum for sure. For sure.
I think the way that you're only a cuck in the way that we mean being a cuck. If you don't like it, that could mean as in it's a surprise to you, as in your girlfriend's cheating on you, or is in like wait, or that she wants to be in an open relationship, but you don't want to. And you're just like, I guess we could do that. I guess we could be in a relationship. That's fine.
Yeah,
you're only cuck in that situation.
Here's what I think. Honestly, I think it depends on how much you trust her, right? Like, I think if you really trust her that, like, she's not doing anything untoward with any of these guys and it's all completely above the belt platonic, then I think, I probably would be okay with it. It's just that is, like, that just
like
seems
you're always
so
gonna wonder,
unlikely.
right? You're always gonna be kind of...
Well, that's what I mean. If you're, like, really... if you really know her and you if you think you can really trust that it's not, there's nothing else going on, then I think it is.
I get
fine.
that, Ben.
It's a little.
That's not
weird.
a crazy thing to think. I think, but the thing is, like, maybe you trust the girl, but how much do you trust the guys? And I'm not saying like they're gonna like rape her or anything. I'm just saying like, are all their intentions like totally pure? Like, is she never gonna get any kind of a little bit going beyond?
My answer to that is like, I mean. Imagine if you will dating a girl.
Can't do
it. Difficult. I know, but like stretch your mind out a little bit. You're dating. I mean, she's gonna have friends. She's gonna have her own friends, and some of them, could very well be guys. And like, that like
they're thinking about
probably at least some of those guys are like, they're not going to do anything, but like maybe if you guys broke up, then maybe they try.
Of course, that's for real.
So like, So like, how is this any different?
I'll
from
tell you
that?
how,
Like
man.
you're not gonna say, oh, you can't hang out with your guy friends because what if they like you? What if they'll try something?
I mean, well, first of all, that kind of depends on the situation. Again, like that's when issues
well,
of
but
trust.
what do you mean it depends on the situation? You're
Look,
not gonna
I
say
would
no to
never like force anyone to do anything they want. However, I would absolutely set ultimatums of, look, I'm comfortable with XYZ. If you don't want it, then we'll just break up. That's all. I mean, again, it depends what those things are.
Hold on. Like what's XYZ?
Well, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, if she had like a really like, okay, I knew someone.
Okay, I mean, maybe there was like a particular guy who like creeped you out for some specific reasons.
Follow, this is just as easy.
something.
Follow me from this. Like, I know a person who knows someone or something. Like, I heard of a tale that like that this is on the other gender side of it. That there was like a girl who was dating a guy, and the thing was, this guy had like a long time best friend who was female, and they would do such things as sleep in the same bed. Now they both say nothing ever happened, but it's like, well, that's a little odd. That's kind of strange, and like. If you broke up with them, do you think that nothing would happen? Probably not. Probably some moves would be made. And incidentally, just in this particular situation, the girl, the friend who is a girl in question, like once spoke to the girlfriend of the guy and said like, is this guy's making you guys uncomfortable? And the guy was like, oh, no, this is totally fine. Like, it's totally platonic. Don't worry about it. But even the girl in the friendship was detecting some vibes of probably like, some kind of beta orbitiness around her, despite being
sure. Okay. Well, like, you say like.
So I would judge it on the specifics.
I don't want you sleeping in the same bed as this person.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's
I would
what
judge
I
it on the
mean.
specifics. That's all it is.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like if you're like. I don't know. It just comes down to trust, I guess. Is my final word on the subject, and that's pretty much all there is to say.
Maybe I'm a caveman stuck in the past, but I would absolutely say that like cuckoldry is 100% a spectrum, and to me, it's not so much about what the person wants; it's about like kind of the value signified by it. Like it just strikes me as like if you're a man who is dating a woman who, let's just say, is a porn star, for example. Like, I'm sure there's a pride that can be gained from that of a certain kind. But on the other hand, she's literally having sex with other men. Like, maybe you're also having sex with other people. But to me, this signifies kind of like a weak relationship, like a weak bond. And you know what? Maybe some people
that's
want
presumptive.
that. It is presumptive, and I don't care. I stand by it.
I think, I mean, maybe, all right. You're dating a porn star, right? She's having sex with other guys because that's her job. Maybe you're having sex with other women or whatever.
Sure.
But maybe just, maybe the sex is not like what your relationship is about.
Look, I mean, I'm sure that there's people like that.
Maybe you're both doing that under other circumstances, and like your relationship is founded on other tenets.
And there can be a massive difference between sex for porn as opposed to like making love.
Call me a dinosaur, and maybe I'm just wrong and could be proved wrong, but I believe that like sexual intimacy is like important to a relationship and isn't really something to be treated trivially. So like, like two people dating each other, if they're like both fucking other people, but they say they love each other, like, okay, I believe them. It's just like, would that be as strong a bond if they didn't fuck other people? I suspect no. But again, I'm no fucking expert here. I'm just saying.
I mean, I think it's up to the individual, and I think it could be. I think it could be just as.
Again, if someone's asking me to give my opinion on someone else's relationship, look, people can do whatever they want. Obviously, I'm just saying. This is where my mind goes.
All right.
I think it could be fine. But, and to me, see, it's a very hot. I hate to repeat myself. I just want this situation, I would be okay with it if I trusted that it was all totally platonic, and that in the situation, which is really fucking weird, that is an extremely high threshold of trust that would have to be hit, because this whole situation is just so fucking sketchy, right?
My thing is, again, it's only a cuck if you're not okay with it. Like, if you're dating a porn star, I would say that you're not a cuck because, you know, like if it's the boundaries are clear, you have clearly ordained it, and you have made peace with it internally, then like no, you're just comfortable with something that other people wouldn't be, and I don't think that's a cuck thing.
Yeah,
I think
fair enough.
If you have no qualms about this, then you aren't a cuck.
Well, okay, but the question is, should he have qualms?
Okay, well, here's the question. Here's the question that comes to my mind.
Depends, obviously.
Wouldn't it be great for this man? Like, would this person in any way prefer a situation where everything's the same, it's just the girl has a different job, earns the same, and isn't, you know, selling her body effectively, you know, not in a sexual way?
She's not selling her...
She's selling her attention, her presence.
If it's all totally
let's say she
platonic.
is, because my answer would be the same. And that's like, that, it, you know... Sure, he could prefer it, but if he doesn't have a problem with it, then it's fine.
But see, that right there, that preference is the spectrum of cuckoldry at work, in my opinion.
My read on this situation and this guy, and I could be wrong, but what I infer from it, and I guess, is that the problem is that maybe this is all not platonic,
right?
And that is the source of the consternation.
He wouldn't be asking this if he didn't have doubts, and I think the fact that you might have doubts in any way is indicative that it's not okay. Yeah,
that yes, the fact that you're even asking this question, I mean. Yeah.
I mean, look, we can speculate all day about like trust levels. I'd be out of there in a fucking second, dude. I'd drop it like a hot potato and be gone.
I don't know. Like, just imagine a situation where
just find a girl who doesn't do this. There's plenty of them.
Nate, let me just say my piece. Imagine, like, you know, maybe you've been friends, maybe you've known this girl for like years, and maybe you guys are like soulmates, maybe you guys tell each other everything, you're like super close, and then, you know, she starts doing this because it makes good money, and she's totally open and upfront with you about it, and she's like, none of this is all platonic, I'm not comfortable with doing anything beyond that, it's just that it makes good money, and like, you know, it's not hard work, so I'm gonna do it. And maybe she does it, and maybe like you talk about it, maybe she tells you funny stories of these weird guys and you laugh about it together or something, and like and you have no doubts at all that everything she's telling you is the unadulterated truth. I don't know. That seems fine.
Ben, my only response to that is that one-itis is the deadliest virus known to man. That's all I've got to say about that.
What?
Just move on. What? Get another bitch. No problem.
What the? I'm just... Okay. Well, then let me only semi-move on and just... Can we talk about this service? Because I'm still really confused.
I mean, you just look,
maybe I shouldn't.
You can think of it like Craigslist, only for semi-sexual acts, 2 full-on sexual acts. I think you just go there, you like find the listings, and you're like, "Ooh, I want to do this," and then you message him, and I think you just talk about it and stuff.
Is it just rich guys wanting to feel less lonely?
Well, maybe not rich guys, but people
want
to be less lonely.
Also sugar babies who want to find a rich guy to, you know, pay their bills. That makes sense, right?
What, Munchie?
Well, yeah, you're right. That's probably...
Look, you know what? I think seeking arrangement is a little more broad. I'm sure that there's probably just people who just, like, want friends, and they just go on there. Like, I'm not casting judgment on the website. Frankly, I don't give a shit. It's, you know...
Friends? Did you say they go on here to find friends?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's a huge spectrum of, like...
That's not how they've branded.
Okay, maybe I'm totally
wrong. Not
friends
wrong. In the... Like,
you know more than we do, Ben, at this point. You've gone to the website.
I have seen the homepage, I'm pretty much an expert.
Okay, you know what?
But
Ben, please, everyone in the show notes, there's going to be a link to this dude's wife. Please utilize her services. She's going to be really eager.
She needs it.
Test the strength of their relationship.
Let's really put it to the test. And don't be afraid to get a little rough with her. I hear that she's down for that. So okay. I will just say that on the spectrum of cuckoldry, I would say that normal committed relationship, 0 cuckoldry. Things like your girl being like a sexualized Snapchat model is another thing. Doing the kind of like Patreon lewds, as so famously are done, that's absolutely on the spectrum. Then there's like porn stars in there somewhere, I'd say, and then there's full on getting cucked, like down at the deep end, and that's a big jump down to that. But
we're all on the spectrum.
We're all on the spectrum somewhere. Some of us at 0.
And I'm just saying, if you got what you're comfortable with, and you are fully convinced that those boundaries are not being crossed, then what's the problem?
Yeah, I'm with Ben.
But again, like, don't be afraid to trust your instincts if you feel uncomfortable.
I'll also
I'd say
agree
that's
with
very
that.
normal.
Oh yeah. And I mean whatever and like set whatever boundaries you want.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not saying like if your boundaries are, that you're not comfortable with the dates at all, even if they are supposedly platonic, that's
When it comes
valid.
to
That's
dating,
Or if your boundaries are farther than that, that's fine too.
I mean, sure,
just
if you're
go-
comfortable with that.
fine. Yeah.
When
Whatever
I
they
think,
are.
I think our
just be
culture
honest
likes
about
to
them.
push inclusivity in some of this stuff when it might feel wrong for you. So, like, I don't know, like, hey, man, everybody's in a polyamorous relationship. Don't let that, don't let that.
I mean, no, there's nothing. I would not judge or think there was anything wrong with not being okay with this at all.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, just as it's okay to feel okay about it, yeah. So it is on the contrary as well. So, and because it's you, man, it's you. So, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Okay.
Well, that was interesting.
That was an interesting
was.
question. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
That was a good question.
It didn't have a
Pick
voice
more like
modulator
that.
and
If only we had someone who was looking out for the quality of these questions. If only.
If only he had ended the question with a piano.
Yeah, then he really would have clinched it.
Unfortunately, his
really
game
would've
deleted.
leveled
Sorry,
up.
you're not a PCP fan anymore. I
Okay,
demodded
we've got
you.
that's fair. We're gonna have none left at the end of this episode. Another message. First message from Mr. Cactuar. Okay, this one's real short, so let's see.
What a name.
Use one Pokemon move to describe your last shit.
Water
man.
shot.
Water
Water
sports.
spout, yeah.
Water sports is the one
Wait,
for me.
string shot. Wait, hold on.
Slam. Slam.
Mud sport.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
Explosion. I did Chipotle and I just did a fire blast and did my fucking shiver.
Ice
Wait,
beam,
okay.
having some issues down there.
Dude, I got some
Gross.
slushy shit, let me tell you.
Oh, a sludge bomb. Sludge
wait.
bomb for sure, my
yeah,
dude.
I was gonna. God damn it. Oh man, I'm sure there's a million great ones, and I'm just.
How about
blanking.
fire spin? I'm just radiating
Hyper beam?
heat. A hyper beam. What's that? Signal beam.
Body
I'm casting
slam.
signal beam down to the bowl, and it's just a lot of beams. Beams work very well for this. Shit. What else I got? Dragon Force.
Dragon Force.
Whatever it is.
That's my favorite move.
Outrage.
Outrage. Oh God. Oh,
Ben, that's
no,
it.
I'm
You're
fucking up.
5,
Ben,
4,
you
3.
you didn't make the
2,
joke quota.
1. Oh, that's it. That's all the time.
Sorry,
guys-
Ben's no
you
longer a
guys picked-
PCP member.
Yeah.
Get him out
I
of
was
here.
gonna say sludge bomb, Nate, and you fucking swiped
that was
it.
too
You
fast.
You sniped it out.
What's another muck centric one? Minimize. Very minimized poops.
because
I
gross.
shit like a rat.
I would describe my shit as Vapors 3 page 22 posted earlier today. That's what I would describe it as.
yeah.
Where was it posted? Where was it posted?
Well, you see, Ben, it was posted on patreon.com/Ben
Oh, interesting.
My favorite
my
website.
homepage, my go-to destination for all things entertainment on the internet.
My hub for indie content. Yeah. My hub for underfunded indie content.
And let's
Wink,
keep
nudge,
it that way,
nudge.
ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Guys, taxes were fucking brutal.
Are you gonna get a refund though?
Oh no.
Really? You're not like under the threshold or whatever?
Well,
I don't know how it
here's the
works
thing.
exactly.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. That all of my income was what do you call it?
Self-employment?
Self-employment income. So my expenses brought me well under the taxable income level.
Sure.
But that doesn't matter because with self-employment income, all your income is taxable with a self-employment tax, even if you are under the threshold.
That can't be
even if
right.
you're under the threshold, if it's self-employment tax, you still get taxed.
That doesn't
for
make
it.
that's crazy.
It's like the self-employment tax is applied after the deductions you're made, and it doesn't matter if you get taxed on all of your income, including the stuff that is under the deduction level. The generalized deduction or whatever it's called.
that 1,400 or whatever the fuck it is.
Is 1,200
Right.
in my state anyway. Yeah. So my overall income minus expenses was well under that threshold, but because it wasn't zero, it all got taxed under this. It was fucking
Well,
crazy.
okay, I don't get it.
It's like 15%.
I thought it was
damn
more.
it.
I mean, I remember looking up, like, I put away 25% of all my income, specifically, or all my online, because of my job, like, already gets taxed. I just put it away for tax paying. So I'm happy if I pay extra, or if I put away too much. Fantastic, couldn't be happier. That's just extra money I'll have.
I save most of my money. Like, it's not like I had spent it all and I had nothing.
You
to
didn't
pay
pull a
it with.
digi.
I could pay it and
Right.
did, but boy, did it hurt. So yeah.
Woof.
That's
meow.
I did not realize that. I did not realize it worked that way. I thought, oh, I'm going to be under the threshold. I'm going to be fine. I probably won't have to pay
what
anything.
happened last year?
Wrong. Last year, okay. Last year,
like
because I didn't technically get.
Yeah.
I made less overall, and also the Kickstarter. Like, I did not get the Kickstarter payout until January.
Okay. So the next year,
that
yeah.
was not. So I did pay a little last year, but it was a lot less.
I mean, you'd think that Kickstarter income, like, that should all get eaten up, because, like, it's all goes to expenses, and maybe there's some left over as, like, income, but, like, you know, ideally
Sure,
you'd think that it works that way.
But not all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of it, and anything that wasn't eaten up with expenses.
I mean,
got
just
taxed.
a similar example, like the RadCon 3, like that money came in like this year, and like that was income in my name, so I put that on my taxes and stuff. But like all the money got distributed to you guys and got eaten up with stuff, so like none of us made a profit at all, which was fine. But like, so theoretically, like you'd think I wouldn't get taxed on that, and I hope that's how it works out. But I guess we'll see.
If it all goes to expenses, then it all gets deducted from your taxable income. I think is at least how it's.
I'd imagine so. I mean, I think so. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's move on. Okay. Message from Racism. The only race I care about is NASCAR. Okay. Go.
Okay, think about this. NASCAR, like the cars, they turn left, I think. That's the direction they go, because it's like a circle, and they just go fucking left every time. And left is politics, and NASCAR is propaganda. Thanks, TED Talk. That was my TED Talk. Fuck you.
I think Slavoj Žižek would love to hear your theory. You should write
about
him.
how all politics inevitably bends left, like NASCAR, you guys.
Yeah, we gotta. You know, NASCAR is doing God's work, shifting that Overton window. We gotta shift it left, boys. Hashtag turn left.
It's the right thing to do. Okay, next up we've got a message from Spike Monster Bang. Okay, and go.
Spike Monster Bang! Spike Monster Bang! Spike Monster Bang! Oh, Spike Monster Bang! Spike Monster Bang! It's the Pro Crastinators! They drink Spike Monster Bang and other shit too! Energy drinks American Ooze!
Yeah!
Yeah!
I just like the American ooze at the end. I mean, the whole thing was good.
That's great.
That was incredible.
That's great.
Once you had your mic on, and we weren't hearing you perform that live from Antarctica.
People get
quiet,
far from the mic when they start to play. I mean, if you're holding like your guitar like below your mic or something, I could see why it's like far or something. But
I just cranked my headphones up,
I had to do that too.
Your voices exploded my eardrums when you started talking it, but it was worth it for that American ooze.
Munchie, did you coin that phrase, that term, American ooze? Was that you?
It sounds like something I would say. No idea.
No? Okay. All right.
I think that's an original Spike Monster
Well,
Bang.
that's a great one. I love it. It's fantastic.
American
ooze.
ooze.
Good. It's good. I want a shirt that says American ooze.
I have
on
called
it.
energy drinks a modern day potion, but
Oh yeah, that's true. Modern day potion, American ooze.
Be careful with your Spike. Don't drink it too fast. You will pass the fuck out.
Yeah, is it that strong?
I told you.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I had drank. I drank it thinking it was regular, and then I started getting like legit. I started getting dizzy because it's like.
Is it
triple
just
strength.
the caffeine? Well, fuck.
Yeah. Well, there might be other stuff, but mostly it's just triple caffeine.
Okay. All right, next one. This is from Voicemail Anon. I think this is like a public service announcement one. Okay, go.
All right. So every episode, you play the voicemails that people send in, and some of them are really great, like them snakes
Like this
voicemails,
one. Yeah.
for example.
Yeah,
and
them
I
snakes.
would like
Let's hear it for them
to
snakes.
listen
Shout
to them
outs.
again, if I could find them, but I can't find them. And I know they exist on some fucking SoundCloud, but I can't find this fucking SoundCloud, and I know it exists because I've seen it before, like
Hitler
a
vibes
long
in a way?
time ago. But I can't find it now. I've gone through my Google history and everything.
Okay, all right.
So my question to you
okay, all right.
is, where's the voicemails, guys? Hashtag, where's the voicemails?
Yes, good. Okay, good.
There is only, unlike the question of where's the podcast, this question actually has an answer, I believe.
It does. Okay, so I looked this up ahead of time. So it's soundcloud.com/the-pro-crastinators. Those aren't underscores. Those are dashes. And also, it'll be in the show notes. Although I thought it was in the fucking... Is it not in the general links? I guess it must not be. Okay, it's going to be in the show notes. soundcloud.com/the-pro-crastinators. That's the SoundCloud. But I also brought this up because there's a thing going on. The SoundCloud is full, and so I'm being forced to, week by week, delete old week's voicemails to make room. Like, we could pay for, like, a pro account and keep them or something, but, like, this one's free, and that's pretty great, so I'm all about that. So we are losing history.
The voicemails are in the show.
They are.
The voicemails are.
They're
in
all
the
embedded.
show.
So like, there's not much being lost. So like, I thought it was.
I don't see preservation as a problem.
Okay, I'm glad to hear you say that because I was wondering if anyone was concerned by that. But okay, great.
That guy felt like he was like on the verge of going into like a total screaming rant for a second there. Like he was going to go into like Lebensraum for a second, and just scream his head off. Like he was holding back his voice. Where is the voicemails in the SoundCloud? I'm looking everywhere for it, and I can't find it.
He's just biting back his anger, I guess. Yeah. Well, fair enough. Question answered. Okay, next up, we've got a message from the King of the Cosmos. Go.
Hello,
Damasi
my
guy.
PC princess.
Oh, nice.
Thank you
nice.
so much for all that you've done rolling up this delicious podcast.
Munchie,
but I
be
have
nice.
one last request. If you would please send me fan art of the delicious girl version of Endless War, then I, the King of the Cosmos, can sleep well.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Here's where you're gonna have to go to that.
Who's the person that made the? It was the.
I'm gonna get for you. Here's what you're gonna add on Discord. Gabriel the Starman hashtag.
No, don't do it. Don't
1889.
dox that man. He doesn't deserve it.
No, it's not. It's not Gabriel the
No?
Starman. I think he's talking about Endless War from the dating.
Well, he is, but Gabriel made porn of her rather.
Oh, really?
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Wasn't that by like Adam
Well, I mean,
or
he's the
Levy or
original,
something?
no. creator in a way.
Right.
I mean,
sure.
I'll endorse Gabriel the Starman, but I want to shout out the guy who did.
Isn't
the
it
art
that
for
girl?
the
Isn't it
dating
that girl with like the round purple art? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. Hold
Asking
on.
about Asha.
I mean, yeah. Isn't it Asha AM or something like that?
No. Asha did not do the specifically of.
Did she do the art of Digi in that
War.
though? She did, right?
Wait,
Okay.
I found it. The Endless War artist for the dating sim specifically is at Drawkaya. That's DRAWKAYA.
You want to put that in the show notes? Should we do that? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Post
Yeah.
it in the links.
Or, I mean, yeah.
So anyone who makes art,
that's the answer.
Go on, make fan art, and then at TP Crastinators, and if it's good, we'll retweet it. So do it.
And also play the dating
Yes.
sim to experience the
which I
magic.
still haven't done. I'm a piece of shit.
You haven't? Okay, me and Munchie played it on the Endless War.
Good.
It was so great playing it on the Endless War birthday stream.
That's great. Maybe I'll watch that. I mean, I want to play it myself too.
And then the man himself or the woman the woman himself came on and we all fucking lost our shit.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
scream as loud as we could.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that one moment. Sand!
Yeah. I was just gonna say
Sand!
that's such a legendary moment. I went back and watched it, and like, swear to God, the same frame Sans appears.
Yeah.
We are already screaming. Like it's such an instant reaction. Like
Did you
there's
see the
no
video I made of
delay
that on
whatsoever.
Dusty Boy? I made a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. We got Riddle My Ass Batman weighing in again. It's time for our favorite show of the week, and let's get to it.
It's gonna be someone who's not even here.
Yeah, fuck you all. Oh, good. You're here, Munchie. I just wanted to let you know on episode 75, you were talking about Lego World, and bang! Oh, sorry, Batman. I was aiming for the Riddler. Oh, fucking idiot! You fucking idiot! You shot me in the eye. Is this why you don't use guns, Batman?
This is a spot on
yes,
Munchie.
because I fucking hurt. You're lucky I'm Batman, or that might have killed me. You fucking idiot. Munchie, take over for this. Okay, Riddler. Oh, wait, I'm Batman. Okay, Riddler. Go ahead with your next riddle. Okay.
No, you're not.
Very well, riddle my ass, Batman. I mean, Munchie. Suicide is. That's all I need to hear.
I'm
It's
so
Tom
confused.
Oliver. Wow. Okay. Release him. Am I that much of a one-trick pony? Yes. Now help Batman. Will Munchie and the Batman be able to say the remaining members of the PCP? Tune in next time to find out. Same PCP time, same PCP channel.
Well, listen, I didn't want to spoil my appearance here. We
Bravo.
recorded these back in June, and
Yeah.
we've just been waiting for them to be released. And it was an honor working with Batman and Riddle My Ass Batman to make this wonderful project. You know, it was a great collaboration.
Yeah, it was great. Good work, Munchie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
How many do we have left? We only have
Like three or four, probably.
left, right?
It's got to be like 4 of them.
I
now or
love
something.
the pause that he does to turn the page. I don't know if that was
that real?
intentional Foley work or if that he actually had a
couldn't tell.
script.
I've got a spoiler for you. It wasn't intentional
I
Foley
think
work.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of thought clearly put into these.
It's deep. It runs deep. And the attention to detail like that is what elevates it above the
that's
pack.
true.
He doesn't have to resort to gimmicks like a piano solo or a
Indeed,
voice
just
modulator.
pure
It's
quality,
just
pure
raw
storytelling.
talent. Just the
Pure
yes,
pathos
yes.
every week.
The immersion. He's got. You know what he's got? You know what he's got that the
What?
other ones don't? Entergagement.
Damn,
I'm
you right.
Entergaged. Every single time I hear "Riddle My Ass, Batman."
Wow, Entergagement spikes off the charts.
And I applaud him. That should be the title of this episode. Is PCP episode 151?
You know what?
Entergagement.
That's true. I'm making a note of that.
Excellent.
Okay, moving on. Let's go.
You're
One
welcome,
more.
Tom. I'm gonna have to shoot you again, like I shot Batman. You know, just on accident, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
worry about it. It's fine.
That's good. Okay, we've got one last fucking thing to do.
Oh my god.
There's one more, and this
we
one,
got off
this one's-
scot-free today.
Yeah, well, this one's simply called Yo Nate. It's called Yo Nate. Short. Let's see what he's got. Ready and go.
Yo, I got a question for Nate. Is your girl retarded? Because you look like the type of nigga that would take advantage of a handicap bitch, and she looks retarded. Peace.
I literally could not understand. I literally could not understand a word of that.
So he was asking if Michelle's retarded, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
You look like the kind of person who would date a retarded person. So in this indecipherable accent, he calls up and she's like, "Hey, by the way, is your girlfriend retarded?" Just thought that would be in character. Anyway, see ya.
For the first time ever, I think I need to hear that one more time for clarity's sake. We're gonna repeat this one.
Yeah. I'm gonna really.
Okay, so
buckle down on
editor,
this one.
listen up, prick up those ears, and splice that shit in. Okay, here we go and go.
Yo, I got a question for Nate. Is your girl retarded? Because you look like the type of nigga that would take advantage of a handicap bitch, and she looks retarded. Peace.
Wait.
Bit.
Okay.
Take a little bit.
It was like you look like the kind of nigga who would who
would take advantage of that kind of bitch, I believe. And then he says, and also she looks retarded. Okay. I believe that's what was said.
Well, Nate,
it takes on a
we're waiting.
known.
We're waiting for your answer.
Wait, what was the question again? Like, would I?
No. Is she retarded? Is she retarded?
Simply post.
So what's the verdict?
You know, I mean, I really think retardation is a
diagnosis?
spectrum, and is first of all, it's on the spectrum. Second of all, it's in the eye of the beholder. It's a social construct. These things can't be defined by modern day language. You got to understand the context.
There's the
in which this
autism
happens.
spectrum, the retardation spectrum, the
you got to take all these factors into account.
Okay, we we're on steel man here. So let's take his argument and
Okay, good.
So here is what he's positing. He's asking you if your girlfriend is retarded. Here is the evidence. You look like the kind of nigga that would take advantage of that kind of bitch.
I'm just that kind
and
of nigga.
secondly, she looks retarded. Okay. So let's analyze both of these arguments. You look like the kind of nigga that would take advantage of that kind of bitch.
That's right.
Do we think this is accurate? Because let's aesthetically, like visually, definitely.
100%.
Yeah,
I sense a lot of
100%.
goodwill from this man, so I'm inclined to give him a lot of leverage in this debate, in this heated, back and forth.
So that definitely checks out. Definitely think Nate is that.
My answer, I am that kind of nigga. That's all I can say. That's really all there is to say.
And secondly, she looks retarded.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard
guilty
to
as
say.
charged, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no getting away from that one. Get ready to
all right,
listen to this one,
check
Michelle.
off both of those. I mean, I think we just have to conclude. I mean, after presenting his argument as best as we could, I think he's got a point here.
I think he's just unequivocally correct, and that's all there is to say.
Nate, one more time. I beg you, one more time.
You know what? All right, let's hear this one more time for the road, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is
the surprise sleeper hit.
Yo
of the
Nate,
episode.
the little known, wonderful, voicemail maker. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Go.
Yo, I got a question for Nate. Is your girl retarded? Because you look like the type of nigga that would take advantage of a handicapped bitch, and she looks retarded. Peace.
Handicap. Type of nigga who'd take advantage of a handicapped bitch. He says it really fast, but he's saying take advantage of a handicapped bitch.
This is a work of art. On the one hand, there's like the casual, racial slur thrown at me, which I appreciate and value. So, on the one hand, I'm down. I'm vibing with this guy. And on the other hand, there's the casual, reference to my girlfriend as a bitch. And, calling her looking retarded.
Just the sort of casual insinuation that you are a
right,
terrible
that I am,
person.
and taking advantage of the mentally
and
challenged.
followed by a colloquial, goodbye.
I just gotta say, I've encountered a few saints in my life, but I think we've stumbled upon another one right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Yo, Nate, I'm
right.
calling it, guys. I'm using my executive privilege. If I get one, I'm using it now. Inducted into the Fan Hall of Fame. Yo, Nate, welcome. Welcome.
Agreed.
Welcome.
Oh, yeah, Hall of Fame.
A star is born.
So we need to document that. We need some documentation. We need a sound bite to play when a new star, it's like when a new angel is inducted into the PCB Hall of Fame, a star streaks across the sky and a new constellation is formed in the sky.
We should just play the Bang Spike Monster theme to commemorate it.
I agree. Okay, well that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the last voicemail.
We've learned
We learned that Nate, is the type of person who would, fuck.
I'm the type of nigga. I'm just that kind of nigga. You know what? I've been avoiding the N-bomb a while, but it just feels good to just be a down-home nigga
in the episode.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
He
said it first. He did it. It's his fault.
Yeah, we blame it all on Yo Nate. Okay, Patreon.com/The Procrastinators for all your racial slur homes. That's the place you want to be.
No.
We got bonus episodes. There's one coming out, I think, in like 4 or 5 days after you hear this. So get excited for that. It's going to be great. It should be good. I think it's going to be good. Follow us on Twitter @TPCrastinators. Send us your fan art of sexy or not sexy Endless War fembot version. That'll be nice. That'll be good.
Ooh.
We'll retweet that.
Ooh, yeah.
You'll see good things. You'll see what you want to see.
You know how like in fandoms there will be like a the fan artists will take a character and then put them in various different alternate universe versions.
Of course.
So like there's Trickster John Egbert, for instance. I want a fan art of the PCP, but like exclamation point, like to differentiate different universe. All of us as if we were the type of person who would fuck a retarded person. So Nate would say exactly the same.
That's the same. That's the same. Yeah. I mean, damn, that Down syndrome look real good on you, girl. That's all I'm saying.
You definitely look the kind of handicapped bitch I would fuck.
Chromosome so well.
Like that, the hairpin of the girl is like an extra X chromosome, like in her hair. Oh, okay, all right.
It's X chromosome Chan.
We love you, everybody.
Delicious.
Hope you're having a great time.
Delightful.
Listen to the PCP. Give us your money on patreon.com/The Procrastinators. Really appreciate it. $5 bonus episode,
please.
$1 just to support us again. The fucking Patreon.
It funds Nate's horrible addiction to picking up people at the mental institution.
They need love too, man. They need love too.
That admin 4% is going right to fucking the loony bin.
That's where it goes.
It's going right to seeking.com to try and find
seeking arrangements with the local mental institution. I'm just we can get a mutually beneficial arrangement, a real what's the word? A conveyor belt of pleasure for all involved. That's what we need.
Pledge to our Patreon so we can all be sugar daddies on seekingarrangements.com.
It's the ethical thing to do.
This is
like
experienced wealthy
guys,
gentlemen who know
we
how to
would
treat
totally
women.
get money if we're like, hey guys, if you want to hang out with me, you can pay me like $20.
Okay,
dude,
it's true.
Let's literally start a PCP account on seekingarrangements.com
Literally, yes.
and get like a group
I already
daddy.
feel a little bit like a whore when I just stream on Twitch and I just interact with human beings because I'm there for their pleasure, and this is this is just pushing it. We'll get back to you.
It's just the logical conclusion of what we've been doing. This whole
you're
time.
right. Friendship Simulator, interactive Twitch, streams and whatnot. What are YouTube videos but sexual stimulation? I ask you that. Okay, that's it, everybody. You know the deal. We'll see you next week. Another episode. Thanks for being here.
We're
done. We're out.
We out.
Go play the dating simulator. We retweeted at TP Crastinators. Go play that. Let us know how it is. Fan art. Give us fan art. I demand fan art.
Good. The answer is it's great.
And we'll see. Leave a voicemail. SpeakPipe. Link down below. And have a beautiful night. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be